Thank you for joining us for our first boot camp of 2024. It's hard to believe that we are in January of a new year. So welcome everybody. So excited to see many agents getting ready for a fantastic 2024. You made a great decision to show up. Couple things that we want to lay out before we get started with today's program is, first of all, the program is recorded. So if you have to leave for any reason, make sure you head over to our YouTube station. In fact, you might want to do it right now. If you go to youtube.com/LAER training, you can subscribe to that YouTube station. That way, if you have to leave for any reason today, you'll get notified as soon as we upload the recorded version of today's class onto YouTube. Not to mention, every time we add new classes, which is several times each month, you'll just get a notification that we've uploaded a new class. So always a good idea just to subscribe. That way, if you have to leave early for any reason. Second, want to remind everybody that this program is open up to real estate agents from any brokerage. So we're going to cover tools, training, technology. One of the things that we're really proud of is that none of our stuff, none of our great content, our marketing pieces, our training, we do not password protect it, blocking outside real estate agents from utilizing all the great resources. So even if you are an agent with a brokerage other than LAER, you're going to get so much great content in the next few hours. In other words, you're not going to get less just because you're at another firm. LAER Realty, we're an independent real estate company. We have about 800 agents in New England and Florida, and we are on the grow into other territories throughout the United States. We've been in business for almost 10 years. And our goal from the very beginning was to help agents become the very best versions of themselves. And so that's why we don't password protect anything. We said, if our goal is to help every agent become the best version of themselves, why are we protecting information and only giving it to our own agents? So that's our theory behind why we open up everything to every agent. By the way, one of the questions we often get is, where did the name LAER come from? And when starting the brokerage 10 years ago, I had hired a branding agency. I had already owned a real estate brokerage for 14 years prior to starting LAER. And my old brokerage was under a franchise. So left that franchise, I had hired a branding agency, and they said, what is your goal with your new company? And I said, the goal is to build and attract talented real estate agents. And so they asked, what makes a great real estate agent? And I said, the best agents are strong. They are really good at overcoming obstacles, negotiating difficult terrain. And they are really good at protecting their clients. In other words, the best agents focus on protecting the buyers and sellers they work with, and money is secondary. So at the time, I put all those words into a Google search: strong, protector, negotiator. And the first thing that popped up in a Google search was a lion. So we said, that's it. We're going to build our brand around the lions of real estate. In the jungle, lions hang out in lairs. In the real estate world, the lions of real estate are at LAER. We changed the spelling of LAER because ours is the mirror image of real, since we're in the real estate business. And we created the acronym Local Agents, Extraordinary Results. So now here we are 10 years later. We help about 3,500 families a year buy and sell real estate across New England and Florida. We are one of the largest independent real estate brokerages in the country. I think we're somewhere around like a top 100 independent real estate company, just based on the amount of business we do. And it's something that we're really proud of. We are small. relatively small with 800 real estate agents, but we do a lot of business. So very proud of what our agents have accomplished over the last 10 years. So with that, I want to dig into today's program. If you came on a few minutes late, this is just a reminder that we're going to give you tons of tools, training, marketing pieces, you name it. We're going to cover the entire gamut of great stuff for you to use to build your business today. And it does not matter what brokerage you work for or with, you're going to get just as much as any of the LAER agents that show up on the program as well. So with that, I want to head on over. Now, while I open up our next section, one of the things I like to remind agents is that since you are taking the time to be with us today, hopefully you can join us for the entire few hours. If not, you can head over and watch the recording on YouTube. Since you're spending so much time with us, one of the quotes I often share is, knowledge is not power. Execution is power in our business. So it's not how many classes you show up for. What really matters in our business is what you execute on. So it's really important that anytime you take a class or attend a program like this, that you write down the few things that you're going to go execute on, because there will be agents, and there have been agents that sit through these classes, and at the end, they're not doing anything with the great information or the marketing pieces. What really matters is what you execute on. So it can be overwhelming, because in the next few hours, we're going to give you probably 100 things at least that you could go execute on in your business. That is why oftentimes we see agents that return several times throughout the year to attend the classes. In other words, they'll take it and they'll write down the few things that they're going to execute on, and then they come back a few months later and take the program again, and then they will go and execute on a few more items. So what should the goal be? I think 5 to 10 items, at least 5. So, and I'll point out as we go through the program things that I think you might want to execute on. So good idea to have a pen and paper handy, and just write down 1 to 5 on that piece of paper. And as we go through today, I'll say, hey, if you don't already have this in place, this is one of those things that you should go execute on. Put it on your list so that when you leave today, you have something that you can go work on. I see we have lots of people from our New England area on today's program. I heard we're getting snow for the weekend, which means it's an excellent time to go execute on some of the stuff that we are going to cover with you today. So what you guys are looking at here is our LAER program and services guide. Everybody should download a copy of this. Sergio will put a link to it in the chat. You can always get the most recent version of this at LAER Realty, LAER Realty.com /success tools. So if you head over to LAERrealty.com /success tools, you'll see this pop up. But also if you scroll to the very bottom of the page, you will see a place where you can download the PDF version of this. So I think if you're near a printer, it's not a bad idea to print it out so that you can take some notes in it as you go throughout today's program. So that's a live link, the LAERrealty.com /success tools. Only because we update this constantly. We'll add tools, or sometimes we try a new tool and it doesn't work the way we thought it would. So we'll delete a tool and add a new tool. So this guide changes. I feel like it changes 3 to 4 times a year. You can always go get the most recent one at LAERrealty.com /success tools. The reason I love the PDF or online version is because, as you will see, as you go throughout the program, there's lots of places that you'll see underlines of information. Anytime you see something underlined, that is a hyperlink to more information. So we designed the guide so that on each page where we're talking about a tool or a technology, that we're linking you right over, not only to the item we're talking about, but also you'll see like tutorial videos on how to use the tool. The tools are only as good as what you execute on. So as a reminder, that's what's most important. I think the first step, the most important step you guys took was to show up. The second most important step is to go execute after today's class. So let's talk about how this booklet is set up. Right from the beginning, the first few pages go through the LAER cultural values. So you'll find our 30 cultural values, like working on yourself, being ridiculously helpful, creating value for the customer. Not going to go through all of them because we're here to find stuff we can go execute on. But the first few pages of the guide are the cultural values. It then just has a little piece in there about why we think it's so important to be an independent real estate company. We think that being independent is a way of thinking and a way of growing a business. So we're super proud of our independence and we embrace it. So it talks a little bit about that. Then we head over into the first of 4 sections. So the booklet is then divided into 4 sections. If you haven't been on one of our boot camps in a while, you'll notice that this has changed a little. The way we set up our booklet has changed based on agent feedback. So that's why you'll see the marketing and branding used to be towards the end of the book, and it was our agents that said, what we care about most is the marketing and branding. We want you to cover that first. So we divided the booklet into 4 sections, and they look like this. We have a marketing and branding section, a technology section, support, administrative and marketing support, but also like tools, training, technology. You'll see all 4 sections laid out, and then anything that is covered by that umbrella, you'll see under the section. But the most important, at least for many agents, is marketing and branding. So we're going to dive into that first. Okay, first thing that comes up when you get over to the marketing and branding section is LAERagentservices.com. This is a site, a website of tons of tools and training and technology. Now, I mentioned already, even if you're not a LAER agent, nothing on here is password protected. In other words, any agent can utilize any of the tools that we've set up here. And there's literally tens of thousands of tools, training, and technology here. I'm going to take you guys on a tour of some of the stuff I think is most useful for building a successful real estate business here. So the way this booklet or this page is set up, the agent services dashboard, is first of all, you have just at the top, we tried to make it as simple as possible. There's really nothing complicated here. Everything is super transparent, super easy to get to. Any of you guys who are LAER agents know that for many years, this was password protected, and constantly when agents needed something, they would like, I forget what my password is. So that's why we got rid of all of that about a year ago. No password protection. Everything is out there for you guys to just go grab whenever you need it. But let's look at how you find stuff. So the very beginning is just a great table of contents for finding stuff. But just so you guys know, most of the stuff in this table of content is just laid out. So for example, it just takes you down to one of these sections, because these sections are where all the good information lays. So first we have resources for recently joined agents. And as you'll see right under that section, we welcome all of the most recently joined real estate agents at the company. If you're new to LAER and you don't see that you're on here yet, it's usually because we're missing either your photo or your bio. So we like to make sure we have both a bio and a photo before we welcome you on this page, only so that your fellow agents can get to know you. But let's go to resources. We have resources for recently joined agents. First button is this guide, the program guide that we're covering today. It takes you right over to laerrealty.com/success tools, because that guide is your roadmap of all the tools, training, and technology. We then have a button with frequently asked questions. We'll get to that a little bit later. And then we have a button with all kinds of social media announcements, like letters, social media pieces, etc., for you to customize and tell the world. Where the bulk of agents spend a great deal of time on this site is under the marketing section. There's tons of stuff under here. First of all, I like to start off by saying that everything we do at our brokerage is built, all of the marketing, our entire marketing team spends their day working off of Canva. So the reason why we love Canva is because it's built for laymen. Many years ago, our brokerage was built off of Adobe, and Adobe is like for marketing experts. You have to take classes on how to use it. It's not super user friendly. Adobe was not a program where you could like figure it out really quick on your own. Canva is. Canva was built for real estate agents, in my opinion. I mean, it was built for anybody, but it's perfect for real estate agents because it's so easy. Even if you've never used Canva, you can pick it up and become pretty proficient in it with like an hour of just playing around with it. Super easy to use. So we built everything off of Canva. Now, let's click over to guides, presentations, and brochures, because that's one place where our agents spend a great deal of time. So when you head over there, what you'll see is anytime we're sharing a marketing piece with you, we are sharing it as a Canva template. So if you've never used Canva before, what you need to know is that you can open the template and begin using it, and you're not affecting it for anybody else. So once you click on the template, it's yours. Now it's your version of, let's just say you're going off of the buyer representation presentation. Once you click on the template and start messing with it or adding your picture and content, it's not going to show up on our version anymore. So you're not affecting our version. It's now become your version of the product. So let's take a look at the first one, because there's a couple other nuances about Canva that you should know. So this is a brand new piece that we released just in December. So this is our guide, and I bet you guys can all guess why we came out with this new piece just in December. What's interesting is many real estate agents have wonderful presentations on for a listing, that you show up at a listing presentation and you have a nice presentation that you're showing the seller that articulates your value. For the most part, most buyer agents did not have a really nice buyer presentation to show up at a buyer's house and articulate their value. So we created one. If you open this, we're going to go into the template. So this is, I think it's, yes, this is a 49-page presentation about why it's a good idea to have a buyer rep when you are a buyer. This is all customizable. So when you open it, and let's just say you're at another company, right off the bat, you can go in and take out the logo. Maybe you're on a team. You could take out this logo, put on your team logo. All of this is customizable. In my opinion, there's only a few pages that really have to be customized. One is brokerage section if you're not with LAER. If you are with LAER, you really don't have to change the information on the brokerage. Everybody will have to go in and change the About Me section. By the way, we have a wonderful bio generator. You guys, if you've been on one of our programs before, you know I'm a nut about saying, why do agents not have great bios? Remember, every time you meet a buyer or a seller, you're applying for a job. And so you wouldn't show up at a job interview without a resume, and your bio, which is typically on your company website, your own website. It should be in your listing presentation, buyer presentations as well. You should have a good bio. Anyways, we have an awesome link. I'll show you where you can find this later as well, but we created a great AI bio generator where you don't have to log into ChatGPT and mess around with that. We have a nice simple form that you fill out, and within a minute, you'll have a nice bio generator. It'll work for any agent at any firm. But here's where you would put in your photo and upload your bio. And then we have a little client feedback section. I think it's a good idea to put some testimonials in there about your clients. Then the rest of it, for the most part, does not require any changing unless just by preference you want to change it. So you go through, it talks about the 10-step buying process. Step 1, evaluation, consultation, representation. Do I need a buyer agent? How agents are paid, buyer representation contracts. It talks about what your realtor agrees to, what you agree to. We put some sample ones in of LAER buyer representation agreements, but whatever one you'd be using, you would cut that or screenshot it and put a picture of the buyer rep agreement that you're using. We put a couple in here. We put our Florida agent one. We also put Massachusetts Association of Realtor one. So there's a couple options in there. And then we put some other forms in there that typically our agents are using, like a request for seller contribution. But this part you can go in and customize. Then it goes into start part 2, determining price range, getting pre-approved, shopping for more than just rate, what mortgage insurance is, evaluating communities. I won't go through the whole thing, but basically it's 10 steps. This is a really important one, by the way. We've started embedding this in all of our stuff. Talking about Zillow, really important, especially because this is a buyer presentation. And the number one way in which agents lose customers because that person has gone off and bought a house through somebody else, the number one way that you lose a buyer is because they end up shopping on Zillow, and Zillow leads them down a yellow brick road to another real estate agent. So that's why we've embedded into the buyer presentation, Zillow, let's get real, so that our agents are talking about why they should not be on Zillow searching for real estate. It's not a real-time search of real estate. You can't narrow your search down like you can on other tools. For example, you can't narrow down to the school district you might want. Agents or consumers think they are contacting a listing agent. First of all, it's not a good idea for them necessarily to contact the listing agent if they're seeking buyer representation, but also they're not actually contacting the listing agent. Estimates are highly inaccurate, and most importantly, by shopping on Zillow, you are opening yourself up to be inundated with sales calls by real estate agents and mortgage people. So we embed that right into the presentation. We also talk about what to do when visiting open houses. This is the second way that buyer agents lose good buyers. Either the person goes shopping on Zillow, down the yellow brick road. We've lost the customer now because Zillow has other agents calling them, or they're visiting open houses and they get snagged up by another real estate agent. So We've embedded that right into the presentation so that these are talking points when you're doing your presentation. We talk about off-market properties to make sure that consumer knows that even if it's an off-market property, that they should call you. So step 5, property due diligence. As you can see, this is well thought out. I don't think in the entire country you'll find a better buyer rep presentation, because I will tell you, we tried to find it. The first step we take when we're developing a new marketing piece is we go out and buy every product out there to see what is already created. Can we save time and get something that's already created? As far as this presentation, there is not one. We could not find any product on the market that was as good as this presentation. So we built it from scratch on our own, and we've included everything that we think you should be speaking about at a buyer appointment. I'll let you guys go through this on your own, but I want to go back to one more point as it pertains to Canva. So one of the things to know, in case you are not super familiar with Canva, by the way, I'll make this a little, one of the things you should know about Canva, in case you're not using Canva already, is that there's a free version and a paid version. I recommend you go buy the paid version. I believe it's $12 a month now. The difference between the free and the paid version is, so as a company, we use the paid version for everything. I feel most real estate agents should be using the paid version, the $12 a month version. Now, if you're using a free version, well, first, let me go back to what you get that's you wouldn't get if it's free. The paid version gets nicer photos. So Canva comes with millions of stock images. We're in the marketing business, so we want access to really nice stock images of beautiful town photos, beautiful interior photos of houses and stuff like that. So as you can see on this buyer, a guide to buyer representation, in the back here, we have like just a door, like a porch, a front porch. This is what is called the stock image. So we imported this stock image. And it's a Canva stock image. Now, if you have the free version of Canva, you're not going to get as many stock images as the paid version of Canva. So what does that mean? If you are on the free version of Canva and you open our template to a guide to buyer presentation, I could tell you right now what you're seeing is you'll see everything that I see here, except your image right here, this pretty porch, going to have some X's through it, and it's going to say, hey, this is a Canva image. So does that mean you can't use our stuff? No, it does not. Now, first of all, it won't let you download this presentation until you've changed out all the photos that are Canva photos. And you'll know that because if you're in the free version of Canva, anything that was a paid Canva photo will have a big X across it. That means it'll just take you a little more time that as you go through and customize your guide to buyer presentation, each photo, each stock photo that has an X across it, you will have to go in and change. Once you do that, then you can download and use your presentation just like anybody else is using the presentation. So if you absolutely don't want to buy the upgraded version of Canva, you can get around it, but it's going to take a little more work each time you edit something, and your time is valuable. So if you think about it, it's $12 a month. We're talking $140, $130 per year. And your time is worth $130 an hour. So why do you want to give yourself an extra hour of work each time you edit something, having to change out photos? So that's my 2 cents on that. Once you have finished creating your presentation, you can then download it. So there's a little share button there where you can share your item. You can download it in all different types of ways. You can download it as a PDF. Some agents like to download it as a PowerPoint or images, any way you want, you can download it. So this is number one. I said earlier that knowledge is not power, execution is power. Execution is where it's all at in our business. And I said it's a good idea to write down 1 to 5 and have 5 things minimum that you're going to go execute on. If you're in New England, you'll have time to execute on this snowy weekend. What are the 5 things you're going to go execute on? This is one of them. In the climate of the real estate world we're in today, we're moving towards buyer representation, and buyer, anybody that's working with a buyer may eventually be signing a buyer contract. Many of you guys do this already, which is wonderful. But if we're asking somebody to sign a contract, like we're used to it as seller agents, no big deal to go on a listing and show all your value and then ask somebody to sign a contract at the end. But less agents are used to doing that on a buy-side transaction. Oftentimes, agents are more used to receiving a call, somebody wants to go look at a house, and we run out and show a house. We need to start making it so our buyer presentations are as good at articulating our value, so that when that buyer calls and wants to go look at a house, say, I'm happy to bring you, but first let's meet at Dunkin' Donuts or meet at an office so I can go through all the value of hiring a buyer agent to represent you. And so you need to have a really strong presentation for that. So as I mentioned, we're back at the LAER Agent Services, just so you remember where I went. I'm at LAER Agent Services. I logged down to marketing, branding, and presentations, and I'm under guides, presentations, and brochures. I'm not going to go into all of these in that much detail. This happens to be something that's on the tip of everybody's tongue, talking about buyer rep right now. So I do think that it's important that if you do not have this already, that you are working at customizing something like this for 2024. There's other kinds of stuff that you'll want to go in and check out. So for example, many agents right now are doing their year-end announcements, like showing all the houses they sold over the last 12 months and thanking clients. This particular template has a whole bunch of social media templates. It's made for everybody. So let's say that you sold a whole bunch of houses. You can go in and update all these. You just drag over pictures of the houses you sold. Or maybe you just want something a little simpler, like no pictures of all the houses that you sold, just something super simple, thanking your customers from last year, etc. So basically you go in and pick the one that you like most, and then you share it. You press the share button and you download. When you download, you don't download all 21 pages because you're only customizing one. So you would go down and you'd unselect all 21, and then you pick the one that you have actually customized and just download that one. So that's the year in review social media posts. There's other cool stuff on here. We have inclusions and exclusions checklists. This is something our agents asked us to put together last year. So when you're on a listing appointment, there's like a million things. This is included, this is not included, et cetera, et cetera. So we made a nice little checklist for agents to use. We made a little thing on utilities, so you can hand this to your seller and get all the information on their utility providers. If you're a LAER agent, we're going to talk about this a little bit later. If you are a LAER agent, one of the things we do is automatically boost every listing for 7 days on social media. This just talks about that. So this is a piece that you would include in your listing packets if you're a LAER agent. These are cute. We have one for buying and one for selling. These are cute little flyers that show either the buyer process or the seller process as a monopoly board. So the idea is you go in and customize this and pull in your photo, your contact information, etc. We have a final walkthrough checklist, a weekly listing report. This is something that you would have to update, but in the old days, pre-pandemic, houses did not sell fast. They didn't sell in a week. Oftentimes it would take like 60, 90 days, sometimes 6 months to sell a house. In the old days, we used to have to update our sellers every week about what was happening, what we were doing for marketing, how many eyeballs are getting on their listing. I think we're going to see more of that in 2024. So this is just a document you can use so that you can give your seller a report each week on what's happening. But again, you can go in and customize these. Zillow, Realtor.com, for example, that's public information, like how many clicks and views that property has gotten. You can add your own website. Maybe you're using AdWorks or Boost. Whatever you're doing, you just update this once a week and get it over to your client. We have our LAER sustainability report. We're going to have our chief sustainability officer talk in a little while, but this is a great report, especially if you have consumers who are conscious of sustainability, which is most consumers, by the way, whether they talk about it or not, there's a good chance they care about sustainability. So why not include the sustainability report as part of your listing or buyer packages? We also have this cool trusted vendor list. One of the things that we talk about a lot in especially in our Alcorn program, which I'll talk about a little bit later, but we built this phenomenal agent growth system, and it's designed to help get agents to do their first 30 transactions each year. I'll go over that a little bit later, but one of the pieces of that program is really developing your trusted vendor list. And this is wonderful if you don't have a big sphere of influence like past buyers and sellers that you can access for referrals. You start building a referral network around people who are already doing business in your marketplace. Yes, it includes mortgage, title, real estate people, but it also includes the guy that owns the pizza shop down the street, or the cleaning company, or the landscaping company. So it's important to start building your trusted vendor list. And so we put a little booklet that you can start customizing here. I also love this little locals guide. This is like a little custom 2-page newsletter that you can put together. Let's just say you have a new listing in Delray Beach, and you want to make a little 2-page booklet that you can include at your open house. And it's a locals guide to Delray Beach. And you put your favorite farmers market, coffee shop, local boutiques, favorite places to get breakfast. These are meant to be customized. 2 things you can do with this. One, they're nice to include in your packages, like buyer and seller packages. They're also great for open houses, but they are also wonderful to go leave at the places that you've highlighted. Leave a little stack of them at your favorite coffee shop, at your local library, so consumers can pick them up and learn about you as well. Let's see what else we have. By the way, you can go in at the top here and like click on what you want and it will narrow this. I did not do that. So we're seeing everything that's under this little marketing section. So these are all Canva templates. There's a LAER listing presentation, just like I just showed you guys the buyer presentation. There's also a listing presentation that can be fully customized. By next month, we're going to have a new version of this as well, so that it kind of matches that buyer representation presentation. But if you don't have a great listing presentation, highly recommend that this go on your list of top 5 things that you do for 2024. There are many real estate agents that do not have a listing presentation. In other words, they show up at a listing appointment and they have a CMA. They walk around the house, they talk about their value proposition, but they don't actually have a presentation. And the problem with not having a presentation is you don't necessarily know what's important to your client. So by having a listing presentation, it's almost like showing up at an appointment with a checklist where you're talking about certain things because it's on the presentation. One story I love to share is about one of our agents in Billerica. This agent literally, like, every single week dedicates a great deal of her time to giving back. She gives time she spends like every weekend at a wildlife sanctuary, literally saving animals. When she's got free time during the week, she's transporting dogs to like foster homes. She does the Dana-Farber cancer walk. She's done something like 20 plus years now, every year. And what's interesting, several years ago, she called me one day and she had lost a listing to a competitor. And the consumer who listed the house with the competitor called her and said, you were wonderful. Your presentation was great. We loved everything about you. But this other agent spends a great deal of time giving back to the community. And that's really important to us because we give back to the community. And she's like, I can't believe, like, I give back to the community. And I said, did you talk about it? And she said, no. So if you're not talking about it and it's important to the consumer, it's too easy to lose a listing over it. So that's why the listing presentation, I think, is so important, is you kind of put out everything so that if there's something that's important to the consumer, you're covering it as part of your presentation. They're the ones that'll say, they'll like keep talking about the stuff that's most important to them. So if you don't have a listing presentation, I think it's a great idea that this is on your top 5 things to do for 2024. Work on your buyer rep presentation and work on your listing presentation, so you're not losing a listing for no good reason. We also have wonderful seller guides, buyer guides, expired listing packages, investor guides. These are all book formats. So most agents go in, customize these, and then print them and bind them. If you're a LAER agent, you can print them and bind them at one of our offices. For example, the guide to selling a home. Let's go in and just take a look at this one. All of this is meant to be customized. So you'll see a place in there for your contact information and your bio and stuff. This one is a 15-page guide to selling a home. You guys can go in and customize that. There's also one, how come my home didn't sell? Yes, there are expired listings in every single market. So get out there and meet those expired listings. We've made this wonderful booklet, and this one's just a 9-page booklet about all the reasons why a house might not have sold the first time. So if you're going after expired listings, by the way, we have a buyer's guide. We'll open that. This one is 16 pages, 16-page buyer guide. Any of these guides are fully customizable. So if you want to chop out an entire section, you're welcome to do that. We also have the investor guide if you're working with investors. So we'll open the investor guide. This one is 11 pages, and it's really focuses on people who are looking to invest in real estate. If you're a LAER agent, we have a wonderful 4-page agent brochure. We also have a great marketing plan to include in your packages, buyer questionnaire. So on this page alone, in my opinion, there's tens of thousands of dollars worth of great marketing pieces for you to use in your business. Couple of ways to use this in your business. Number one, I think agents should be doing buyer and seller events. So first-time buyer programs, seller programs, class on how to stage your home for maximum value. I think there's huge opportunity to put together events with fairly little legwork. You got to create an invitation. You have to invite people. You have to have a venue. If you're a LAER agent, we have 40 plus offices you could use as a venue, or you could use a local coffee shop or a local restaurant. Gather a couple of sponsors who are also speakers, mortgage people, attorneys, home inspectors. I think your events should be a presentation of any of these materials. So if you're doing a buyer event, you do the buyer rep presentation. If you're doing a seller event, you're doing the listing presentation. And the materials you hand out at these events are all right here. You just customize them. So that's one way I think you could be using these materials. By the way, your events could also be online. So like doing first-time buyer programs and seller programs, all virtual. So using, for example, Zoom or Google Meet and inviting people virtually to attend your events. In fact, I have a great story, and this is just from December. And just this past December, I received an email from a woman who attended a virtual first-time homebuyer seminar that I did during the pandemic. So that virtual first-time homebuyer seminar that I did during the pandemic is still hosted on YouTube. This consumer landed on that. She said, I watched the whole thing. I learned a great deal about the buying process, and I'm interested in taking the next step of buying a home. So I ended up introducing her to one of our agents in the marketplace where she's looking to buy. But how powerful is that? That was from one. Imagine that you're doing that once a month, doing your buyer and seller seminars and home staging seminars and new construction seminars and condoizing your multifamily seminars. Imagine that you're doing those every single month. How many calls each month are you going to get just from having it hosted on a YouTube station and somebody lands upon it when you're not even thinking about it anymore? Second way I think it's a great way to use these products is in my opinion, agents should have a great buyer package, a great seller package, and a great investor package. What would be included in these packages? So like a buyer package would be a folder, your company folder with a buyer guide, maybe the Monopoly home buying piece, your trusted vendor list, a locals guide. Everything you need to put in your packages is right on this page. A brochure about your company. So have like 4 or 5 items that you pick right from this list in your buyer package. Same with your seller package. You have a seller guide, a locals guide, a flyer about the boosted listings, a flyer about your brokerage. That should also be in your package. Same with an investor package. By the way, I think all of your packages should have a resume or /bio, because as a reminder, you are applying for a job every time you meet with a potential consumer. So buyer package, seller package, investor package. So what do we do with these packages? I think it's a good idea to have 10 of them, 10 of each of them, all printed and ready to go. so that, let's just say you head out to Starbucks this morning, you're in line getting a coffee and you hear somebody behind you talking about buying or selling a house. You run out to your vehicle, you get your package because you have them already all made, and you go back into Starbucks, you go over, say, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but I overheard you talking about selling your home. Just want to give you a package that I put together. I do a lot of seller seminars on how to get a home ready for sale, and I happen to have my package in the car. I want to give one to you. It's all done. Also, your success in this business comes down to energy. And all of us are either attracting or detracting business all day, every day. We don't even know it, but we are putting out an energy to the world. So when your packages are all created and you are ready for business, you are putting that energy out to the world that I'm ready and I'm open for business. Whereas if you, for example, are running to the food store at 8 o'clock in the morning and you're still in your pajamas, I guarantee you don't have you're not putting out an energy to the world that you're open for business. In fact, everything within your being is saying, I hope I don't see anybody I know. So by having your packages all ready, you're putting out an energy, a vibration to the world that you are open for business. I share this story. I have not sold real estate personally for now more than 20 years, but I did sell real estate at one point, and I focused on expired listings because I was very young when I started in the business and I had no sphere of influence. So every morning I would print the hot list, the hot sheet from my MLS. I'd get all the expired listings for the marketplace, like around Lowell, Massachusetts. And I'd go door knock at 8 o'clock in the morning when people are getting ready for work. I'd door knock and I'd give them a package. So I'd just door knock, say, I know you're getting ready for work, not going to spend any time right now, but I want to hand you a package about the services that I offer. Your listing expired according to the multiple listing service. And if you're seeking other alternatives for a real estate agent, I would like to be on the list of candidates. And that was it. And I used to get a lot of expired listings, but that was because I had a really nice package. I dropped it off. And when other people were mailing or calling, or what most agents were doing back then when it came to expired listings was nothing. So I was competing. I had very little competition. So those are some of the ways that you could be using these pieces. I would add at a minimum to your top 5 things that you're going to go execute on after today's program. If you don't already have them, I think you should have a buyer package, a seller package, and an investor package, and have 10 of them printed and in your folders and ready to hand out to people. I think you should have 10 ready at any given time so that you're putting out a vibration that you're open for business. And so that's stuff you can go execute on. The good news is we've done 95% of the work. So you could have your buyer, seller, and investor packages ready in 1 hour. That's just from picking from the content we have right here, going in and customizing with your photo and content information, etc. So we are 1 hour into our 3-hour program, and we've only really clicked on one button, which is the guides, presentations, and brochures. But as you could see, I don't want you to go anywhere because we have so much more to cover in these next 2 hours. But I guarantee you, if you execute on just the few things that we talked about in the first 1 hour of today's program, your business is changing for 2024. You're absolutely going to turn on a high vibration for doing business in the new year. So I'm not going to spend a great deal of time on this, but the weekly social media assistant, if you're a LAER agent, we're going to have Sergio do a little presentation a little bit later, but if you're a LAER agent, every Monday you get a text from our social media department with all of your social media pieces for the week. So they're all formatted. Some of them are formatted for stories. Some of them are formatted for posts. Not only do we create the images for you, we also write all of the copy. So you never have to think about like, what do I have to post this week? We've done it all for you. But if you want to go back and get like an old post or something like that, you can grab all that right here. We'll have Sergio from marketing do a little presentation on that shortly. If you're a LAER agent, you need a special marketing request. Maybe you want a really nice marketing piece for an upcoming listing that's not marketed yet. You can go do a special request form that will send a request over to the marketing department. We also have some great open house resources here. If you're a LAER agent and you have a bunch of listings, I guarantee you don't have to do all the open houses. Of course you can if you want to, but we have a lot of agents that don't have a lot of inventory and want to do your open houses. If you need an agent to cover your open house, we have a form for you to fill out. You fill out a nice, easy form. A blast email goes out to any of the agents you've selected or offices you've selected, and within minutes, you've got your open house covered. We also have a form for broker open houses. Especially if you're a LAER agent, we want all of you to support each other when you're doing a broker open house. So if you're doing a broker open house, if you're a LAER agent, fill out this nice, easy form. It just sends out a mass email to all of our agents saying, hey, get out to this agent's broker open house this week. We also have some other cool stuff for open houses here that all of you will want to check out. I love open houses because open houses are you're auditioning for everybody that comes in. You're auditioning for future buyers and sellers every time you host an open house. So we want you to look amazing whenever you are doing an open house. So we have all kinds of stuff for you to use here. We have open house sign-in sheets, little welcome signs to post around the house, interior signs. Sometimes agents want to post little notes so the consumer doesn't forget to notice certain things around the house. We have feedback survey forms. All of those will open in Canva, so you can customize them. We also have cute little open house marketing and branding things. For example, little popcorn tags. If you want to give out like microwave popcorn as a little thanks for popping in gift, we made some cute little tags for you. And then always a good idea to keep the kids happy at those open houses so that the moms and dads can go and focus on looking at the property. So we have like a little coloring set that you just bring some crayons and stuff like that, print these out and leave them at your open house so that any kids that come through are also entertained at your open house. So all of that, we're still under marketing, branding, and presentations, and we're under open house resources. Next, commercial resources. This is something fairly new for us, less than 1 year old, but we've been super focused ever since the beginning of last year. At the beginning of 2023, the National Association of Realtors came out and said, hey, we're going to see a decline in business this year. That was since January of 2023. Because of the rise in interest rates, it's going to lock people into the housing that they have because they can't afford to leave their 2.75 rate for a 7% rate. So the National Association of Realtors predicted a decline in sales. So what we've been trying to help agents with over the past 12 months is filling additional pillars of business. One pillar that has become something really big for many of our agents is commercial real estate. So we've brought in trainers, etc., but we've also been building out our marketing pieces for commercial real estate. So if you're focusing on commercial real estate, there's a whole section in here of commercial stuff, a commercial offering memorandum, our commercial logos. We have a commercial listing presentation / guide. We also have a commercial network of agents. So if you're into commercial real estate, you can join this. This is open to any agent of any firm. If you're interested in networking with our commercial agents, you can go there, fill out a form, and you'll get notified of classes and things that they're doing on a monthly basis. Also, if you're brand new to commercial real estate and you need to like really get up to speed on exactly how it all works, this is just a course that we highly recommend. We had Coach Jeff Wright come out and do a program for us last year, teaching agents how to build a commercial real estate business. So he offers a wonderful course as well as a coaching program specifically designed for commercial agents. And there's a link to more information on that. And signs, apparel, and print marketing. So a couple things I want to say here. First of all, a lot of the signs, apparel, and print marketing section is for LAER agents. Like, for example, if you click on this Oakley signs, it's going to take you over to LAER branded open for sale and open house signs. Same with business cards. This mark full section is going to take you over to a LAER page of all kinds of stuff. Same with the apparel. These are all like links that take you over to companies that have created LAER stores. But if you keep scrolling to the bottom of this page, let's talk about print marketing for a second, because this is super important. If you're like me, and by the way, this print marketing section is for every agent that's watching, whether you're a LAER agent or an outside agent from a different brokerage. Print marketing, super important to talk about, because if you are like me, and you've been in the business for a really long time, then back 20 years ago, it was not uncommon to go to an office, print your postcards out of the copy machine, print your labels out of the copy machine, and like hand stamp stuff. Okay. Agents should never, ever, ever, ever do any of that. You should not be in an office working on marketing pieces ever. It is not a good use of your time. Yes, there is an investment to be made to go out and have mailers made, printed, and sent for you. But that investment is so minor as compared to the value of your time. So, not to mention that when you're printing like postcards on a copy machine at the office, they're not going to be nice postcards. Definitely not as nice as using a professional company. They jam the copy machine. The labels jam the copy machine, and it takes forever to stamp everything. And forget bulk mail. Bulk mail's 1980s. Where it's at is every door direct mail, which is even less expensive than bulk mail. So we don't want agents ever sitting in an office printing or doing any type of mailing, because there's too many less expensive options for you. Let's talk about some of those less expensive options. I like to point out that I don't make anything from any of these companies. So I'm not recommending these companies because I'm getting a kickback or anything like that. I recommend these companies because they're really good at what they do. First of all, MLS mailings. Anytime you can find in your business a set it and forget it system, it's a good idea to sign up, because as you build your business, once you get to, like, in my opinion, as an individual agent, once you're at about 25 transactions a year, it becomes difficult to do it alone. Like, you need other people or other systems that are working for you. MLS mailings is a set it and forget it system, and it sends just listed, just sold postcards, and it hooks to your MLS. So that's what's cool about it, is that you go in, you upload your photo and your logo, you plug in all of your MLS information, and then it pulls from MLS, and you tell the system every single time I list a house, I would like the 200 closest houses to get a just listed postcard. Then every time I sell a house, I would like the 200 closest houses to get a just sold postcard. It's all automated. It'll send you a reminder that it's about to do it, but it's beautiful and it's not super expensive to do. So if you don't have an automated system for just listed, just sold postcards, then definitely something that you should check out. The other is the personal marketing company. So a personal marketing company is really awesome as well. I always mess up the exact program I want to share with you guys. So let me see if I can find it quickly. The personal marketing company does a whole bunch of different products like postcards and stuff like that. And I think Sergio usually knows which one. Automated.
Yeah, that one. You just had it.
Empower?
No, that's it.
That's it. Oh, this is it.
Client follow-up.
Client follow-up. By the way, TPMCO, the personal marketing company, does all kinds of different things. So they also do just listed, just sold postcards. They do like all kinds of different mailings. But what I love the most is this one. I think it's unbeatable. I think every consumer, every agent that sells a house at a minimum should put your clients on this product. So basically what it is, you pay $25, a one-time fee of $25, and for 5 years, yes, 5 years, that person that you put onto this program will receive mailers from you for 5 years for $25. Sometimes the mailers are a postcard. Sometimes the mailers are a magazine with your information on the front. Sometimes it's a letter. It changes every month. So these are like some of the things that it looks like, but most important, it's like for 5 years, you're staying in touch. It is a set it and forget it system for $25. For $25, even if you do nothing else and you don't have them on your email campaign and you're not calling them as you should be, there's all kinds of other things you should be doing. But even if you don't do any of that, at a minimum, for a $25 investment, you're not going to lose the customer because they forgot about you. So National Association of Realtors has stats on it saying that most agents do sadly forget the customer once they have closed on a property. They're on to focusing on the next buyer or the next seller instead of staying in touch with the one that just bought from them. So this answers that for $25. It's TPMCO, and I clicked on client follow-up. And as I said, they have other cool products as well, but I know agents that use this. That's why I recommend it, who say, you know what, I put every customer on it. And they say at least once or twice a year, I get a customer from 4 years ago that I totally forgot about. And they'll call me and say, I'm ready to sell my house. I've been getting your mailers. So the other marketing companies I love, Wise Pelican, they do beautiful postcards. Yellow Letters Complete. Yellow Letters Complete is wonderful if you want like handwritten cards that you want to send out. Let's just say that you're sending out a New Year's card and you would like a handwritten note to go in each one. Yellow Letters Complete can do that for you. So they have two options. One is a computer generated handwritten note, but also they'll just write the notes for you if you prefer like a real genuine handwritten note in each one. Yellow Letters Complete is for that. RSP, Data Driven Marketing. This is also like a mailing postcard company. that many of our Florida agents use. So,
Hey, Stacey, there's a good question in the chat.
Yep.
From Vanina Knight. Hello, great information. Do you know of companies that can get apartment rentals or automatic marketing for rentals?
so they want to rent apartments, you think? Or they're renting?
Yeah, that would be my guess, but I don't know of anything. Do you know specifically? I mean, presumably, if a lot of these marketing tools are going out to the 20 closest homes, it's going to hit rentals as well if there's multi-family.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really good point. I can't think of anything. However, something to check out for anybody, and I don't know enough. That's why I'm a little early in recommending it, but I've been playing around with it. There's a company called Property Radar that I've been playing around with for pulling lists. And what I like about Property Radar is we've used it with our commercial agents, for example, like if you're looking for a list of everybody that owns auto body properties in Massachusetts, you can pull it. I also just pulled a list for one of our Florida agents. They had emailed into Happy Agent and they were looking for all of the homeowners who received a foreclosure notice in West Palm Beach in the last 6 months. And Property Radar, in 2 seconds, I was able to go in. I picked West Palm Beach, notice of foreclosure, and downloaded a spreadsheet. Wow. So that agent is taking that to go. So I would check out Property Radar. I can't think of anything specifically for rentals, but Property Radar is probably a decent place.
Property Radar, sorry to go off track here, but this is interesting. So Property Radar gives you the address and the owner of the address as well.
Yep.
Contact
I'll send it to you, Craig. It does have contact information. That's why I'll share it with you, Craig, so you can go kind of play around with it. But basically, yes, contact information for this particular agent in West Palm. He was just creating a mailer to focus on pre-foreclosure properties, but it was super cool that you could really narrow down searches on stuff. So
that's great.
Okay, let's go back. We are still under marketing, branding, and presentations. Oh, this is an important one. If you, really for LAER agents, but technically anybody could use this. Every month, our marketing team creates a newsletter that agents can send out to customers. I'd like to preface this by saying there's 2 types of newsletters for consumers: print newsletters and email newsletters. This is a print newsletter. That's its best use, is if you want a nice newsletter that you can print and leave it at your local pizza shop, or put them out at your open houses, or mail them to your database, then the Roar Report is a really nice one to use. Each month they create this, they publish it in Canva in 2 different formats. One is a like a 4-page newsletter, and one is in tabloid paper, which is 11 by 17 newspaper. Like, you have to buy the special paper to print it on. But basically, it is a newsletter all designed and ready for you to customize and send out. Anything on this newsletter can be changed. We go through and put like these little red arrows on stuff that you really have to change, like putting your name in there and your phone number, your photo, your contact information, but literally any of it can be changed. So this is like a folding. This particular one I opened is the tabloid version. So this is meant to be on 11 by 17, folds into a 4-page piece. How agents use this, however, is some agents mail it every month to their database. Also, there are many agents that will cut out a section of this and feature like their favorite local pizza joint, and they'll write a little article about the pizza joint and then leave this newspaper in the pizza place so that they can potentially get buyers or sellers from leaving it there. Also, we have agents that will have like a mortgage company, for example, sponsor their monthly newsletter, where they'll cut out a section, like take out one of the articles and then put in the name, logo, photo of their favorite mortgage person, and that mortgage person helps defer the cost of the print or the mailing, etc. So that is all under the ROAR report, and a new one comes out every single month. We also have a section, if you're a LAER agent and you need logos, this is where you'll find them. We have a little logo section. And then also we have a whole section here for seasonal pop-by tags. So oftentimes we have agents going out each month and visiting their sphere of influence. And maybe they're, let's say, for example, we have Valentine's Day coming up, and you want to create little pop-by tags to go with your giveaway. We've created like pop-by tags for your giveaway for every single month. So these you would just customize with your name and phone number, print them out, and put them as part of your pop-by. So it gives you a reason to get out so that you never show up at a client's house empty-handed. Let's see. All right, we'll go through agent growth and development really quickly. We'll touch upon this again a little bit later. There's tons of tools here available, and I want to touch on these really quickly because we're at the beginning of the year. First of all, classes, meetings, and coaching. First of all, if you like what you hear today and you want to participate in more LAER classes, there's a bunch of ways that you could do that. One is you can always participate in our live training classes. A couple ways to do that. One is if you're in our any of our Facebook groups. So we have the LAER Facebook group. We also have a Facebook group called ROAR, Real Online Agent Resources. If you're on one of those groups, all of our training is broadcast live in those groups. Also, if you click on this training calendar, you can see upcoming training, and you can just sign up for the Zoom class of any of those. We also have our YouTube training channel. So be careful when looking up LAER on YouTube, because we have a few different stations. We have a station that's really just for buyers and sellers. This is our training YouTube station, which is youtube.com/LAER training. Super good idea to subscribe. What's cool about subscribing is you'll never miss anything, because almost everything we train on, we record and we then upload it here. So you'll just get a little notification on your phone that LAER just uploaded a new training class. That goes for not only our Zoom training classes, but also our live events. So for example, if you scroll through here, for example, last year we had Tom Ferry come out and do a live training class. And if you scroll through, you will find that we try to organize all of our training into groups so that you can just subscribe to whatever group you like a playlist to find the stuff that you are most interested in. So this class, by the way, ends up at the LAER training YouTube. So once you go execute, after you leave today's class, once you go execute on the few things that you want to execute on, then you can always come back and watch it again. Also, if you're a LAER agent, I'll cover this again a little later. If you're interested in coaching, we have a great coaching program. You can sign up for our coaching program there. And business planning and growth systems. So this is the time of year many agents are planning their business for the new year. We have created 3 different types of business planning / growth systems for you to consider using for the year. Now, right in the middle is a traditional business plan guide. This is like a 40 or so page book to plan a real estate business. So if you are an agent that has always done like a very traditional business plan, this booklet is wonderful. You just print out the book and it's kind of fill in the blanks, and it will move you towards like planning out your future. This is like writing down your vision and your mission and what kind of branding you're going to focus on. This is a simple business plan that is traditional in real estate. If you're running a team, it's great to have a team meeting around this, that just everybody gets a copy of the business plan and you all kind of fill in the blanks together. That's a traditional business plan. We also last year came out with a second type of business plan. And this one is a little different in that the idea of it is focusing on who you need to become to do the business you want to do. So some of you guys have been through our training programs on mindset and manifestation and vibration, the law of attraction, and how to significantly increase business. Interestingly, most people stay within a 10% differential of their previous year's business. So for example, if you're a $5 million agent, most likely if you've done $5 million a year in business roughly last year, you'll probably do about $5 million in business this year, which means you'll probably do about $5 million in business last year. Wonderful. Except if you want to be doing $20 million in business. For you to go from 5 million to 20 million, you have to become a different version of yourself. And this simple plan really gets you focusing on where you stand right now, where you wish to be standing, and what is the difference? Who do you have to become to do the $20 million in business? So it's action steps of that nature. So it's a little different type of business plan. The third one, and this is the one I'm most proud of, is our Algorwin system. This is a system that we wrote last year. Algorwin is basically a program that there is an algorithm to success. An algorithm is that if you put certain input in, you can expect a certain output. That is an algorithm. It's an equation. It's that if you do these things, this will be the result. So we designed this program by studying the business of our highest performing agents. We have about 800 agents at LAER. We have many agents doing over $10 million a year in business. And last year, we really studied those top agents, the ones doing $10 million a year in business, to figure out what exactly are all of them doing. So we kind of weeded out the stuff that some of them do. And we said, let's just focus on the stuff that all of them are doing. And we created an algorithm. And we know that if you do the same algorithm that they do, you will have similar results. It's basically a very simple checklist system. If you're a LAER agent, when you join, we put our Algorwin book into your welcome package. But if you need a new copy of that, you can go down, you can actually download a PDF version of our Algorwin class at laerrealty.com/Algorwin. But basically it's a checklist system, and it basically starts you on a yearly checklist, which these are things you do once a year, a monthly checklist. These are things you must do once a month, and a weekly checklist. Those are your three most important checklists. So it gives you direction, yearly, monthly, weekly. And then as you start focusing on those three, business starts coming in. And then we help you build systems around these checklists for new listings, seller appointments, buyer appointments, and client appreciation events. So we tell our agents that if you do everything in this system, you can expect 30 transactions per year. So that's our goal, is to help each agent get to their 30 transactions per year. Anyways, if it sounds like something you're interested in, I'm very careful. I don't like to call this a business plan because it is not a business plan. It is not you mapping out where you want to be and steps you're going to take. This is a growth system. This is things that you do yearly, monthly, weekly, and on each new listing, each seller appointment, buyer appointment, and client appreciation event. If you do those things, you can expect the results. So that's under the business planning tools under Algorand system. Also, we have a cool income producing, why can't I remember what that stands for? Activities, income producing activities. If you're, one of the challenges in our business is waking up and knowing what to focus on each day. By the way, if you're using Algorand, you'll never have to worry about that. But we're in a time of year where typically things slow down a little bit, at least on for New England, especially with weather and stuff. So the income producing activities checklist is just stuff you could be working on today to produce future results so that you're not focusing on stuff that does not create results. So all of that is under the agent growth and system, agent growth and development. One last thing, this is brand new for LAER. We did partner up with the CE shop for continuing education classes plus new licensing classes for anything, for any state you want to go in. Really, one of the big reasons we did this is I love CE shop because on the back end of the system, it tracks all of your CE. And what's even better is if you're licensed in many states like I am, I think I'm in 5 or 6 states now. Once you take a CE class, it'll say, hey, you just finished this Mass CE class. Did you know we can do a certificate for New Hampshire, Maine, Connecticut, for example. So you take one class and now you've got your CE for multiple states, and it saves them all on the back end for you, because one of the things agents sometimes reach out to us for at LAER is help. I need my CE classes. Do you know if we took any CE classes? My birthday's tomorrow. Do you have anything? And I'm like, I can't help you. But here, if you sign up for a CE class on our partner page, I could see all your CE courses. So it'll be much easier for me to say, let me log in and find your CE class for you. So that's just some CE classes for you guys. Now, we have our agent toolbox section. Before I go into all these sections, one of the main sections you'll find in here is our sustainability section with all kinds of sustainability tools. So I think this is a perfect opportunity to introduce you guys to our Chief Sustainability Officer. Many of you already know him because he travels the world speaking in front of realtor groups all across, definitely the United States. So many of you guys have had the opportunity to meet Craig, but I want to welcome Craig on, our Chief Sustainability Officer, to talk about sustainability in real estate. So welcome, Craig.
Thanks, Stacey. As a real estate instructor, you had me cracking up about the people that were calling you. My birthday's tomorrow. I need all my Cs.
Yes.
It happens, though, definitely.
Yes.
I'm gonna switch screens. I'm gonna go to my my PowerPoint for sustainability and the work that we're doing here.
While you're doing that, by the way, I have to say, guess who's back? She's on today's program.
Who's back?
We have Carolyn Brown back.
Do we really?
Yes, Carolyn.
Carolyn.
Yeah, so happy to have Carolyn back. She's always been family for us, but if you've been on one of our boot camps before, Carolyn has attended more boot camps than any other real estate agent in the history of us doing boot camps, which is about we're going on to 4 years of boot camps roughly now. And Carolyn, we're super excited to have you back and on our boot camp again this month.
Excellent. Welcome back, Carolyn. So yeah, let me take you through what's going on with sustainability, and the high performance home marketplace in particular. So in a lot of this is very relevant to the stuff that you've been saying, Stacey. Buyer agency, right? One of the things that NAR right now is promoting is really looking at niche markets that give a buyer agent an extra level of expertise in a market area that the typical agent may not be familiar with. Now, for me, the kind of green sustainability, high performance home world is more than a niche marketplace, but it is a very, very legitimate niche marketplace that is speaking to consumers out there, across the United States. This is just some of the stuff that I've been doing at NAR for the last bunch of years that deals directly with this intersection of real estate and sustainability, including the GSEs, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, very engaged in this as business opportunities. These are legitimate business opportunities for all of us in the marketplace. And as Stacey said, you may not be aware of this because you're just not asking the question, but we know for sure that consumers are aware of companies' environmental footprints, right? Here's a number from the Shelton Group, a world-renowned sustainability marketing firm that deals with the top S&P 500 companies on their ESG, environmental social governance reporting that they're doing. And 74% of consumers are making purchasing decisions based on a company's environmental reputation. So it is worth bringing up that sustainability report, having it handy as you engage clients. You never know where clients are going to be focused on this space. Now, what does sustainability mean in real estate specifically, right? Sustainability can mean so much. It can mean anything from recycling to composting, but it definitely is our homes and businesses that we live, work, and play in. 39% of US energy consumption is attributed to the built environment, and 22% is in US homes. There's a greater awareness than ever about the impact of energy efficiency, water efficiency, healthy homes, comfortable homes to live in, right? All of this fits into the framework of high performance green homes. And this market is evolving very, very quickly. So here in Massachusetts, this is information from something called the Green Building Registry. And I'm going to take you off my PowerPoint in just a second and go to the Green Building Registry so you can see one of the ways that you can use this tool. But the Green Building Registry is registering properties in all the states across the United States. And look at that, 193,000 homes in Massachusetts have had significant green building improvements attributed to them. So you can't say to me that there isn't a market here in Massachusetts. But look, in New Hampshire, we see that there's 7,000 results. Even better though, in Florida, where 4 of our offices are, there's over 200,000 homes, more than in Massachusetts, with significant green building improvements. So there's definitely a powerful marketplace here. I'm going to take you to the Green Building Registry so you can see my URL up here, greenbuildingregistry.com/green-homes. So I'm in Melrose right now. This is where I live, right? I can drill down on this map and start to look at specific areas. In fact, this is my home right here. It's a 2-family. So our unit up above has had some significant green building improvements done on my home. We're Pearl Gold rated. We have a HERS score of 59. Some pretty significant green building improvements made for the home that we live in. But more importantly, in getting back to what you're saying, Stacey, about adding 5 or 10 things to your list of the things that you want to knock off on your list on a weekly or monthly basis. Sorry about this. I could go back to Melrose. Here's a good one for the snowstorm coming up this weekend. We know you're going to be isolated in there, right? So one of the things, Stacey, that I've been doing is going through this list. This is the property across the street from me, right? And I can click on this and find out that this home across the street, I'm looking out at it right now, has a solar PV system on the home. It's seller owned. You can see the size of the system, the year it was installed, the number of kilowatt hours that it's producing annually. Well, if you go to MLS PIN right now, our MLS, and you're in Massachusetts, the predominant MLS in Massachusetts, and you're listing a home with solar PV, in the solar PV category, these are the 4 attributes that you need to put in to fulfill that listing. The year it was installed, the size of the system, whether it's seller owned or third party owned, whether it's a lease or a power purchase agreement or the seller owning it, and the annual estimated hour production. This is all in the Green Building Registry, right? And how many listing agents do you think that are listing homes with solar PV, when they run across these fields, they're like, oh my God, what the hell is this? Nobody knows where to get this information. You know where to get the information now. More importantly, though, I know that at 960 Main Street, the folks across the street that own this place, it's actually an investor-owned property. I know who the owners are, right? So I'm doing this 5 a week, Stacey, right? And I'm doing it the old-fashioned way, right? So I've got the address here. I go into MLS PIN, I pull up the public record, I find out who the seller is, and then I try to find contact information. But at the very least, I can start door knocking around Melrose, where I live, and we've got 635 of these properties that are going to sell eventually, right? And I'm the expert in this field. So
We had a question, by the way.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Sure.
One agent asked, how does that information get in there?
That's a great question. So Green Building Registry is run by a company called Earth Advantage in Portland, Oregon, and they're the ones that are producing this map. We've actually had the woman that runs this program as a LAER Sustainability Committee guest speaker. So we always have a guest speaker every month we have loads of information going on in this part of the marketplace. So Meg Garabrandt runs this program, and they get this all as publicly recorded information. Massachusetts is one of the few states that actually published through the Mass CEC, the Massachusetts Clean Energy Center, something called a production tracking system that they own, where you can ask for all of the solar PV data for Massachusetts homeowners out there. So that was the old way to get this information. This is the new way. It's instant, it's clear, and it's all public record information that's out there. Great question though. So all of the HERS scores, my home has a HERS score of 59. That's all public record information that ResNet produces. So Green Building Registry has pulled down the data sources into one really useful toolkit that we can use as agents. And I can guarantee you, Stacey, that virtually no agents in Massachusetts knows that this tool is out there, except if they've listened to our presentations that we've been doing on this stuff, right? So this is another great way for you to, if you really want to tackle this niche marketplace, this is a great tool to be able to tackle this marketplace. And I would say, Stacey, if you don't want to tackle this marketplace, that's cool too. I totally get that. But we have a ton of green designated agents at LAER Realty Partners that have taken the time, energy, and money to become specialists in this field of high performance homes. So, if you don't want to go through that process of getting your green designation, of taking continuing ed classes, I get it. That's cool, no problem. But please refer that business out to agents that have taken the time, energy, and money to become experts in this part of the field. Your clients deserve that, And look, here's Massachusetts, the state building code, the new state building code that's just come out. And I'm proud to say that Melrose just adopted through their city council the specialized stretch energy code for new construction in the city of Melrose. We've got over 35 communities that have gone to this ultra rigorous third building code out there in Massachusetts. So certainly if you're dealing with new construction, you need to be learning about this stuff, no question about it. Florida, Governor DeSantis vetoed a net metering bill that would have really hurt the solar PV industry in the state of Florida. So we're trying to track all of the things, all of the good things that are happening in all of the states that we have a footprint in, which seem to be growing every year, Stacey. So keep me posted on where else we're expanding here, so we can make sure we're covering all of those areas. Education is really critical in this, right? Getting your NAR green designation. It's a significant 2 full days of training, to really give agents that are deeply connected to this part of the industry the tools, the resources, the accountability that they need to be able to go and make this part of their legitimate business. And obviously, new buyer seminars too, right? You were bringing up at events that people can do, right? I'm 61. Obviously, I just turned 61 yesterday, and I joined LAER on my birthday. So this is my 5-year point with LAER as well. But we know that the younger generations are more and more engaged in this stuff. That doesn't mean people as ancient as me aren't engaged in this as well. But we know as you move down the ladder of younger and younger generations, they're more and more involved. They've got real skin in the game with a changing climate, right? They're going to be more open to these conversations. They may be thinking about these conversations. So I would encourage you to think about this in terms of your first-time buyer seminars too, of at least bringing up the fact that LAER is deeply engaged in this stuff, and we offer opportunities that other brokerages just aren't offering right now, right? And one of the things that we're trying to do, right, is track the number of high-performance home sales we're doing on a yearly basis now. So when you get when you fill out your LAER check request form, you will see this information pop up. If there are any green features in any home that you've helped a buyer buy or a seller sell, please include them in the LAER check request form so we can track the stuff. Now, I don't know of another brokerage in the United States that's tracking their green home sales. So it's really important that we start to become engaged in this stuff, right? On the left are the typical things that you see from MLS PIN. For Florida, for Beaches MLS, which is where our Florida agents mostly use their MLS, there's a lot of resilient home features, which are in the middle, the storm protection features that are in there, right? Just because we're in the Northeast doesn't mean that we have to be aware of storm features right now. I mean, look what's happened in Vermont the last couple of years with the amount of flooding that's going on there, right? Things are happening across the United States. But the big thing here is that if you've had any of these features, or even some features that aren't included on this stuff, that you found in homes that have green high performance home features, you can write them in the right-hand column. So please fill that stuff out as you're doing your check request form. There are 50 shades of green definitely out there. They come in all shapes and colors, from replacing your incandescent light bulbs with LEDs all the way to passive house certified net zero energy homes. Out there is the 50th shade of green, right? Here's my home. So you can see that, I've got an 1895 Victorian that we did a gut remodel of. And of course, I'm deeply engaged in the space. I've learned a lot about it working with the builders that I've worked with that are building to the highest levels. So I certainly, and my wife was very committed on doing the right thing here with our remodel for our old home. And, we got to a really good HERS score. You can see the annual savings that's estimated by the HERS rater, $3,700 a year. Now, believe it or not, appraisers can actually use it. Qualified appraisers will use that number and take a look at an income approach to evaluate the added contributory value because of the third-party certified annual cost savings on my home. This stuff is definitely recognized by qualified appraisers. In fact, there's a bunch of appraisers in the state of Massachusetts and Florida and New Hampshire that have gone through the Valuation of Sustainable Buildings accreditation that the Appraisal Institute has put out. And we as listing agents can demand a qualified appraiser. You all know we can't pick a specific appraiser anymore, but we can demand a qualified appraiser. So that's one of the things that we go through with the green designation, is training agents how to demand that qualified appraiser and making sure that these investments that my wife and I made on our home are realized as equity at the time of sale. One of our great partners in this is a company called Pearl Certification. I posted something in Inside the Lines Den yesterday on the two co-founders of Pearl Certification. It's a great program, particularly for existing home sales. They now have a new electrified home badge too, so decarbonization, electrification is becoming part of the marketplace. And in fact, my wife and I cut off the natural gas account coming to this home. So we switched to ductless mini splits, air source heat pumps, induction cooktop, heat pump, hot water heater as well, doing all the great work that we did on the building envelope. So these are all things that are becoming part of this marketplace. And I'm really proud to say that the work that we've been doing here over the last 5 years and under Stacey's leadership, the bits that I'm throwing in here for education is being recognized nationally by NAR. And don't forget that the conference in November is in Boston. So we'd love to see you there, because we're going to have a lot of programming available specifically in this intersection of real estate and sustainability. A lot of great stuff happening here. Article 11 of our Code of Ethics, I'm going to just really highlight this again, requires competence, right? And I deeply feel that homes with significant high performance features like the ones in the Green Building Registry demands a listing agent that's competent in this space. Do not leave money on the table for your sellers. If you don't want to get involved in this niche part of your business because it's too much, that's cool, I get it, but we have so many green designated agents at LAER, probably on your team, that you can refer this business over to so that they can do the right thing and make sure the sellers are maximizing their equity, and you can get a referral fee off it. So we've got plenty of agents that know what they're doing in this space. Yeah, so I'll just leave it with this. The Inflation Reduction Act too, Stacey. This is legislation that President Biden signed into law August 2022. We all have a tax appetite. Certainly, if you've had a really good year in real estate, you're looking for deductions, obviously, before April 15th. If you did significant green building improvements in 2023, you'd be surprised at the amount of deductions that are allowable by the IRS under the Inflation Reduction Act. So we'll throw some tools in there for you to be able to check this stuff out on your own. But these are great advantages to you as a realtor out there in terms of your tax burden, but also to your clients as you start to make these kinds of investments in your home and realize the opportunities that are out there, where we can really offer something very unique that other agents just don't have a clue about. And I think that's a real critical point here, Stacey, as we start to think about the demands for buyer agents, what's expected of them in this changing environment that we're in right now. So I'll leave it at that, Stacey, and let you take it from here.
All right, awesome stuff. Couple things I want to point out for everyone regarding getting like the green designation. First of all, I was telling Craig right before we started today's program, my 14-year-old daughter just had in her middle school, they had, as part of their science class, all the kids had to build a sustainable home model. And each kid was given a different state. So my daughter had Alaska and had to build a house that would be considered a sustainable home. And it had like a green roof. And she showed me the water collection system on the side of the house, how the water comes off the side and is collected and used throughout the home. And it had a windmill and stuff. And I thought it was super interesting because most of what I know about sustainable housing came from listening to Craig or becoming green designated. And I feel like my daughter at 14 already knows as much as I do about sustainable housing. So that should tell us something. Like, the future is here. And I think it's the high school kids, the college kids, like the next generation of home buyer is absolutely interested because this is what they've been learning about through school. So we have to become interested because our consumers are interested. Also, what's really interesting is throughout the holidays, I've had the opportunity to talk to many of our agents do business with local builders. So we have a handful of agents that have these big subdivisions. So I've had the opportunity through holiday parties to chat with some of our local builders. Sustainability is like, I don't bring it up. I don't talk about it. I just like make conversation. And on 3 instances with 3 builders, sustainability came up because they're getting forced to have the conversation. So what's interesting about that is there's an opportunity for green designated real estate agents to become a resource because the builders aren't sure what to do. They don't know what the exact rules are. In their own heads, they believe it's way more expensive to build a sustainable home than it is to build a non-sustainable home. So we have the opportunity to become a resource talking about it with potential builders in our marketplaces. So,
You know, for me, and my wife, it was cheaper to go the green way, right? When we asked our builder, look, natural gas, if I get a new natural gas system and add AC, 1895 home, right? We had no ductwork. What would that cost me? And John said probably 45,000. I said, well, what about mini splits? What's that going to cost me? 25,000. And I got $10,000 back from Mass Save.
yes.
Switching to heat pumps. I got a $10,000 check, Stacey. I mean, it was a no-brainer for us. So me spending $7,000 more for a better insulation package was covered completely by going the green way rather than the traditional way. Steve puts a great comment in the chat too about where we are with the Massachusetts Building Code. He's 100% correct. If you're an agent working in new construction, you really need to know what's going on here. Great comment, Steve. Thank you.
All right, awesome stuff. Let's get back to our presentation. Hold on, I got to reshare. All right, we are back to our agent services dashboard. By the way, I know Craig touched on this, but if you go to LAER Agent Services and scroll down to the agent toolbox, there is a button just with some sustainability tools. So if you're working on anything that has just some of the links that Craig talked about just now, everything, we've been building this resource and we're still building this resource, but everything you need to know, if you need like a green appraisal addendum, etc., it's all under our sustainability button at laeragentservices.com. A couple other things before we move on to page 6 in our program guide out of 40 pages, and we only have 1 hour left. Want to just click on agent technology tools because there's a couple cool things here. If you're a LAER agent, we're going to get to the LAER tech bundle in a couple minutes. But before I do that, so if you are a LAER agent and you're using our LAER tech bundle, which is Isact CRM, Boston Logic website, Real Scout, property search portal, all the login stuff is here. Same with like Boost by HomeSpotter, Showing Time, Dot Loop, all of our logins are here. But I want to make sure you guys all saw these 2 AI tools. So everybody's talking about artificial intelligence. The most notable one many agents are using is ChatGPT. ChatGPT is a little bit clunky. So we have many agents that just kind of gave up on it. They're like, it's a little clunky. I'll wait till it's a little easier to use. And that's why our marketing department created these 2 awesome tools for agents. Any agent can use these. You don't have to be a LAER agent. The one that every single week I get a comment from an agent is our listing description generator. So if you go onto the listing description generator, you put how many paragraphs you need your listing description to be, your email address, the address of the property, what kind of property. You click off like the style, number of bedrooms, baths, square footage, and then you type some of the features of the property. You pressed submit, and 30 seconds later, you'll get an email with a complete listing description. Of course, go through and check it because it's AI. It can have a mistake in there, but it's pretty accurate. Most agents are just cutting and pasting it and putting that into MLS. I had at our LAER Leadership Council meeting yesterday, Jackie Assalonis said right before the end of our meeting, she said, can I just give a shout out to that listing description generator? She said, I had this listing that was like a piece of land, and she's like, I couldn't come up with anything to write about it. And she's like, finally, I remembered we had the listing description generator. I went in, I wrote I filled it out, and she said, I got this beautiful 2 paragraphs about this piece of land. Secondly, agent bio generator. It's a pet peeve of mine. So if you're a LAER agent and you have no bio, you probably hear from me every couple months, because we are applying for a job every time we're in front of a buyer or a seller. So you should have a great bio on your company website, your personal website. You should have it in your listing presentation, buyer presentation. And oftentimes people don't write them because we don't know what to say. And this helps you. It's just like it gives you some prompts, and then the system will write your bio for you. Remember that we live in a day and age that oftentimes we're doing business with people who start out as strangers. So they don't really know us. Maybe they were referred by a friend or family or past customer, but for the most part, we're working with strangers. And just like if your kid came home and has a new girlfriend or boyfriend, what's the first thing you typically do? You're probably Googling that person and their family and researching as much as you can. The first thing a consumer does when they are introduced to a real estate agent is they are Googling you. So, question, if you Googled you, would you hire you? Go Google yourself. That should be one of the top 5 things you are going to go execute on after you leave here today. Go Google your name, and then Google your name with real estate, Google your name with the town you live in, and see what comes up on the first page of a Google search. Your stuff should have an updated photo, an updated bio, and the correct real estate company that you work for. So for example, realtor.com creates a bio for everybody on realtor.com. When you join real estate, it usually comes up on the first page of your Google search, even once you've been in business for 10 years, and you may not have updated that in 10 years. So you have to log into your realtor.com. Everybody gets a free realtor.com account where you can go in and update, but make sure you have a nice bio. So those are some cool AI tools. There's some other cool things down here as well. Showami, you need somebody to cover an appointment for you, go show a house. Showami is like the Uber of real estate. You can hire a showing assistant to go show a house for you for like $30 a showing or something like that. Basically, you put in how much you're willing to pay, and then you'll have agents who bid on the opportunity to get paid to show the property or cover an open house. HomeBot, really cool tool, like a email that goes out to consumer every month with their current range of property value. Home value leads, pretty cool lead capture site if you are pretty good with Facebook ads. And Exposio, which is a cool app if you're not using professional photography. I prefer you all use professional photography when you're listing property. Occasionally agents don't use professional photography. If you're not, at least use the Exposio app, because it helps make your plane photography look closer, not quite professional, but it's still better than a plain iPhone photo. So some really cool technology there. A couple other things. If you're a LAER agent, there's a section here, a form to get paid. everything is everything's online. So we have like a LAER check request form that you go fill out the LAER check request. And that notifies our bookkeeping department that you're looking for your checks, either a commission check or co-broke check or seller check. As well, LAER does offer a cash advance program. So you can go to the LAER check request and request a cash advance. We also, if you are collecting escrow funds for a transaction, go check out our escrow earnest money portal. Nice, simple way so that you don't have people driving checks around to drop off an escrow check. Just send them a link. Send the buyer agent a link saying, here's a link to drop off our, or to have your client ACH the escrow payment to us. By the way, we'll take escrow, the plain old-fashioned checks. We're just trying to save you on having to travel around and collect them, etc. So that's all under the technology tools. So under agent toolbox, you get tech tools, sustainability, library, getting paid. There's also an agent directory of all the LAER agent and the LAER offices page. The one thing I do want to tell our LAER agents, because we have about 40 offices, that if you have access to any office. So if you click access a LAER office, there's a form there. If you're a LAER agent, you fill it out, you put in your LAER email address, and it will email you all the information for accessing an office. So like on a Saturday, if you're in Cape Cod and you want to use, for example, the Falmouth office, you just go to access a LAER office, you fill out the name, your LAER email address, and the system will email you all the information for getting in the office. As well, sometimes our agents need to know staff schedules. Why would you need to know who's working where and when? Usually because you have somebody dropping something off, either a check or a signed document. You want to know which offices have staff at what times. You can click here and check out the staff schedule for all of our offices in New England and Florida. So we are back to the LAER program and services guide, and we have less than an hour left. So this is the guide I mentioned at the very beginning of the program. To get a copy, you can go to laerrealty.com/success tools and download this. If you scroll to the bottom of the page, there's a PDF version. We're only right in the first section, which is marketing and branding. So, before we move on to a couple other things, I'm going to have Sergio come on in a second just to talk about some of the additional automated marketing tools that you have access to. If you're a LAER agent, want to make sure you know that we are boosting every new listing that comes on the market. It's a 7-day boost. As part of the onboarding, we could show you how to log into your HomeSpotter account so you could see how many people are clicking on your listing, etc. It's basically a way to get leads. All the leads go direct to you as the list agent, but definitely you should be talking about the boost at your listing appointments, because it's one additional way that you're marketing for the consumer. With that, I'd like to introduce Sergio. Sergio heads up our marketing department just to talk about a couple other automated marketing resources that you have access to. So welcome, Sergio.
Thanks, Stacey. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, so I'm just going to go over a couple of things that our marketing team has in terms of automated marketing systems. Stacey covered a lot of the things that we already offer to our agents. Now, these two specific things are particularly for LAER agents. Everything else anyone can access, but these two programs are for LAER agents. The first one is the LAER marketing bundle. So when your home goes live on the MLS, our team starts to get to work. We take your listing and then we create a brochure as well as social media pieces, and we create this marketing package for you. This is sent to you within 24 hours, and we include the full package from just listed, for sale, open house material, just sold. It's all created, it's all custom created in Canva too. We also share those original Canva designs with you. So if you do have any changes, if you have a price improvement, anything like that, you're able to go and make all those changes within Canva. So let me show you what that email looks like. You'll receive an email that looks just like this, just congratulating you on your new listing. And you'll see 3 links. One of them is to download your bundle. So this is the most direct and simple way of using your LAER bundle. Now this opens up in Google Drive. So as long as you're signed into any Gmail or your own Google Drive, you'll be able to access this. You can also access this publicly. You'll receive a listing sheet, which is a PDF, right? And from here, you can actually print right from this window here, but you can download this as a PDF and then send it to get printed professionally at Staples or FedEx, or you can print at any of our offices. So we do our best to make sure that we choose photos that make sense for your listing, that follow a very particular flow. So all of this is custom too. Same with your listing description. If there are any spelling mistakes or anything like that, we'll fix for you. We also, like I said, include social media pieces that follow the whole transaction, from new listing to just sold. It's all here in this folder ready for you to use. Now, like I mentioned, we include Canva templates. So we have a Canva template of your brochure. So this opens right up in Canva. I'm already signed into Canva. This particular piece, you can use Canva Pro to use, right? There's no stock photos on here. These are your own images. So you're able to use all of these with the free version of Canva. Same with the social media pieces. You can edit any of this, any of these pictures, any of this text. You can change your picture over. You're able to use directly from Canva. In fact, you can even post to social media from your Canva account by clicking on share. There's a share on social button that you can use and then connect your Facebook page, your Twitter account, etc., and post directly from this page. So we try to make it as easy as possible for you to market your listing. Under here, you'll see some other useful resources. We do have a program where you can request FedEx 2-day delivery of your listing package. This includes 25 printed listing sheets, some LAER brochures, as well as some open house signing sheets, all in a nice folder. All you have to do is fill out this form. There is a fee for this. This just mainly covers the shipping price, and you can receive it. There is a deadline for this, usually the Wednesday evening, just to guarantee that you have everything ready for your open house. So it's very easy. You just click on order here. There's another button here to order 4-page brochures. So we have also, you do need to order this a la carte, but we do have a 4-page brochure that we make available for some of these listings. If you have, particularly if you have more photos, if you have a luxury listing, we can feature your home in this 4-page brochure. All you need to do is fill out this form, click on 4-page brochure, give us as much info as you can. We can grab info from the MLS, but most importantly, if you can upload the original photos for us, that would be great, because we can have some high resolution images. We can still grab them from the MLS, but the MLS photos aren't as high resolution. And that really counts when you're printing out a large brochure just like this. So when you have a new listing within 24 hours, be sure to look out for this email. If you feel you're not getting this email, if you don't see it within 24 hours, let us know. happyagents@laerrealty.com. We can make sure that you are on our right mailing list. We can get this out to you. So the next thing I want to cover is our weekly social media assistant. So every week on Monday, we send out both by text and email 7 to 10 social media posts, which are both, again, Canva templates. You'll see us use Canva a lot, as well as just ready to post JPEGs and video with suggestion captions and hashtags. So we include things, general social media posts as well as Facebook and Instagram stories. And then we also include suggested captions. So let me show you what that email looks like. So every Monday, you'll receive an email that looks just like this, where you can use these directly from this email. You can just click on download. And then we have our captions, which you can just copy and paste. So you don't have to use the full caption. You can use this as a starting point. You can customize for your local market. But it makes it easy for the agents to just be able to grab this information, schedule everything out at the beginning of the week, and have everything that is ready to post. So definitely look out for this email every Monday. Again, if you feel you're not getting this, just email us, happyagents@laerrealty.com. We include Canva templates for all of these as well. If you click on edit in Canva, this will open up a new template. And you can do anything to this. This is your own template for you to use. It won't mess anything up on our end. If you lose this for some reason, you can always go back to this email and open it right up. So those are both of our systems that are automated for LAER agents. If you have any questions about any of this, you can email us at Happy Agent, and we'd be glad to assist you.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Sergio.
Yep.
All right, let's head back over to our booklet. Okay, so we're back at the LAER Program and Services Guide. We've pretty much made it through the entire marketing section. So as I mentioned, the entire booklet is broken down into 4 different sections. Marketing, tech tools, training, and then support. In a minute, we're going to have Ashley come on and give you a quick demo on our cloud CMA. But before we go there, a couple things I just wanted to point out regarding technology. So first of all, if you're a LAER agent, you get a bunch of complimentary technology, .loop, app files if you're in Florida, showing time. We also have an upgraded version of Cloud CMA, which I'm going to ask Ashley to give you guys a little demo on in a few minutes. Boost by HomeSpotter, which is the pay-per-click advertising. We automatically do 7 days of advertising on all new listings. And then we also give you a full G Suite for agents that need a LAER email. You do have an option of also getting a full G Suite as well. So those are the complementary technologies. But also when agents join brokerages, one of the things they often ask is, are there any tech fees associated with being with the brokerage? At our company, the answer is maybe. We have an optional $39 per month tech bundle. And this is why it's so important. Actually, I'm going to pull up another presentation real quick. So the $39 per month tech bundle includes 3 products. One is Isact, which is a CRM. One is a website, Boston Logic, which is a website, which in my opinion is not super important in your business today. But if somebody Googles you, it's nice to have like a business card that they show up at, which is your website. And the third part is a property search portal. So before we do a little presentation on these 3 products, I'm going to show you why they're so important. So the reason they're so important, I already touched on this earlier, is because of Zillow. So one of the things we try to do when we're working with buyers and sellers, we've embedded a conversation about Zillow into a lot of our marketing pieces for when we're talking to buyers and sellers. And what's important to think about is Zillow is the biggest threat to your business. That's for every single real estate agent that is on today's program. Zillow is the biggest threat because they are better at running a database than you. They are better at getting people onto their property search portal than you. And because they're better at that, they're better at directing the consumer to the real estate agent of their choice, and the real estate agent of their choice is whoever's going to pay them. So it's really important that we have these conversations, but so there's two parts. One, we have to have the conversation with our buyers and sellers on why Zillow is not a place that they should be searching real estate or looking for their home value, because Zillow does neither of those very well. The only thing Zillow does really well is collect names and email addresses of consumers and have salespeople contact them. So the consumer believes that there's a great property search portal through Zillow, and that is not true. In fact, the search function is super limited. We have better options for searching for real estate. The consumer also unfortunately believes that the Zestimate is a real value, which that also is not accurate. It's just a compilation. It's an algorithm of public information. So we need to be really good at talking about that with the consumer. Now, the second part of that is we also have to be really good at beating Zillow at their own game. And that means that we have to be really good at building a database and getting consumers into our property search portal. Those are the two things that Zillow is very, very, very good at. So we have to be very, very, very good at it as well. We have to be building a database so that we're constantly marketing, dripping on people, just like Zillow. And we have to be very good at getting the consumer into our property search portal. Because in my opinion, the only reason why people are going to Zillow is because they don't know where else to go. So as a real estate agent, it is our job to make sure that, one, we're staying in front of the consumers, anybody we meet. So who goes into your database is, first, anybody that you would invite to your wedding, if you were planning a wedding, friends, family, neighbors, acquaintances, people, everybody that comes into your open house, stick them in your database. Anybody that you do business with, your landscaper, your cleaner, your mortgage people, your home inspector, everybody goes into your database, just like Zillow. So Zillow does not say, like, who should I put in my database? Here's my A list and B list. Everybody's A list. Everybody goes into the Zillow database if you're on their portal. You got to do the same thing. Secondly, we have to get our database using our property search portal. So this is why it is absolutely imperative that you have a database and you have a property search portal. So let's go back to our program guide for a second and talk about the $39 per month tech bundle. So if you are at LAER, you have an option of whether you want to opt into our tech bundle. You do not have to. I would say that each one of these, if you are not a LAER agent, by the way, you can go get any one of these three products. Each of these three products in and of themselves is $39 per month. So this is for outside agents. Is if you want to just go sign up for just Isaac, it's $39 a month. If you want to sign up for Boston Logic, it's $39 a month. If you want to sign up for Real Scout, $39 a month. At LAER, you get all three for $39 a month, only because we have so many people signed up that we get big discounts. But I think each of these is worth $39 a month. Now, first of all, let's rate them in order of importance. Boston Logic, least important. It's just a website. So our company, LAER Realty, is built off of Boston Logic website. They do beautiful websites. You can go in and you can customize them and train them, change them, and do whatever you want with your website, except that's not super important for your business. A website in your business is like a business card. You should have one. It's a good idea to have a business card. It's also a good idea to have a website, but it's probably not going to be a game changer, not super important. So as far as priority goes, this is at the bottom of the list. What matters is the two that allow you to compete with Zillow. One is a database. That is where you collect names and email addresses. That is one big part of your job as a real estate agent. Collect names and email addresses, collect names and email addresses. Every time you meet somebody, open houses, you're signed up with lead services, OpCity, any lead service here, everybody goes into the database because that's what Zillow does. Let's just market to everybody. So everybody goes into your database. That's what ISACT is. So the reason why ISACT is so important is because not only is it a storage house for your database, but also it's a set it and forget it marketing campaign. So once you put all the people in, and by the way, that's ongoing, always, you're going to be putting people in, you're also marketing to them. ISACT has a really nice monthly newsletter that goes out. You set it up once, and the newsletter goes out once a month to everybody that you have in your database. That's the beauty of ISACT. Does it do other things? Yes. Are there other CRM companies out there that do more? 100%. You guys all know there's a million different CRM companies out there for real estate. ISACT is very, very simple. That's all we need is simple. We need it to do two things. We need it to store our information. So I have all my names and email addresses in one place. And we need it to send out a monthly email to everybody in the database. So it does those two things really well. And that's why we choose that as our preferred CRM. It does some other things. If you put a birthday in the system, it'll send a birthday card on the person's birthday. If you put their closing date in, the consumer will get every year on their anniversary of their, on the anniversary, they will get a home anniversary card from you. So that's the beauty of it. Part one, to compete with Zillow. This is why it's so important. It helps you compete with Zillow. Website, kind of important, like a business card. We kind of throw that into the package. I only say that that's low priority because sometimes when agents sign up for the $39 a month tech bundle, I see them putting all their time and effort into this website that does not matter. Because consumers are not heading over to the website and saying, I must hire this real estate agent because they have such a pretty website. Absolutely not. Maybe by accident, somebody shows up on your website. It is not important. Just like it's not important that you have the most beautiful business card in the world. It's not going to get you more business. But the other piece that matters is Real Scout. Real Scout is the property search portal that is better than Zillow, where the consumer can go in and search real estate and get notifications multiple times a day by text message, by email, when new houses hit the market. This is how you compete with Zillow. Number one, you got to have the conversation about Zillow. Number two, you have to have a database, so you're collecting people's names and email addresses. And number three, you have got to have an option for people so that when they're searching real estate, they know exactly where to go. So with that, I'm going to have Ashley come on and give you guys a quick demo of both Real Scout, and I'm going to have her give you super fast, because we're running so short on time, a super fast overview of our Cloud CMA platform as well. So welcome, Ashley.
Hi, Stacey. Thank you. So I'm just going to put a link in the chat, and this is for a LAER agent. If you do have the tech bundle and you just got it, or you have it, you haven't used it, you don't know where to start. If you go and fill out this link, laerrealty.com/briefings, go ahead, fill out that form. You can select Cloud CMA, Real Scout, ISACT, Canva. If you want to update your social media pages, you don't know how to update them, I think we have something for that on there too, right, Stacey?
Yes. It's all one-on-one support. So our goal is, like, some real estate companies have you sign up and you have like a tech fee forever, even though you're not really using the tech. If you're signed up for the tech bundle, we want to make sure you're using it. So the best way to help you guys use it, of course, you'll see Ashley, Sergio, every Tuesday and Thursday, there's live training that you can go watch a training class. Plus you can go to our YouTube station and watch. We've done hundreds of programs on all of these. But also sometimes it's nice just to have a person like Ashley, who's just you, nobody else is on the call, walking you through getting the names into your database or getting your email marketing working. So that's why we set up these briefing sessions, laerrealty.com/briefings. So you can have Ashley or one of our team members walk you through all by yourself, getting you all set up on everything.
So I just shared my screen to LAER
Yes.
Agent Services. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do Real Scout quickly, and then I'll go into Cloud CMA. Unless you want me to start with Cloud CMA.
I'd do Real Scout first.
Okay. So if you're on LAER Agent Services, you would go down to the Agent Toolbox, Technology Tools, Real Scout. And then there are two separate sides to this. So if you are an agent, you want to make sure that you are logging into the agent account, because there is one for a home buyer. So if you are setting up your clients, they can sign into a client facing or customer facing side as well. So for agents, you want to make sure that you are going to the agent side. And I just want to make sure you guys can still see my screen.
Yes.
Okay. So when you first log into your Real Scout, this is what it's going to look like. It opens up to a dashboard, and right away you can see which clients have viewed what properties they have opened. So going through the dashboard right here, there's icons. So this orange envelope icon means that she's looked at this property. This right here, blue circle with the eye, means that this client has viewed this property. And if they have viewed it more than one time, it will say that it's their second or third time viewing that property. This right here, the little pie chart graph with the green circle, just shows that somebody has opened a home valuation dashboard for a certain property, because Real Scout allows you to set up home value alerts for sellers as well. You can also go down and see if a client has liked a property, if they have disliked a property. So if they've liked a property, it'll be a green circle with a thumbs up. If they've disliked a property, it'll be a red circle with a thumbs down. So this is all right in your dashboard. And again, this will update as soon as you add clients to your database. So to add, will Real Scout show every state or just the ones we're licensed in? So Roberta, if you're licensed in multiple states like Massachusetts and New Hampshire, you can do both. There's a way to flip-flop between the two states that you are licensed in. So to add a client, we click on this giant box that says add client /alert. You always want to make sure that you have a valid email address for your client. You can type in their first name and their last name. I know this box says it's optional, but if you have, more than one client with the same name, you want to go ahead and put in their first name and their last name. Phone numbers are optionals, and the source, if it's a UpCity lead, a Realtor.com lead, if it was a referral from somebody, you can put that in here as well. And we're going to go ahead and create client. It's going to ask what type of alert you want. So do you want a listing alert, a market activity alert, or a home value alert? And right here, this is where you're going to select which MLS you want to use and which property class. So for New Hampshire MLS, they break it down into residential, commercial, multifamily, or rental. and even lot and land. MLS pin, it's all in one for that MLS. Or if you want to do cross MLS search that includes both, you would do the cross MLS search. So I'm just going to click on a residential property, search for New Hampshire. I'm going to do a list and alert, and then I'm going to click customize list and alert. And what this is going to do is this is going to open up another page as it takes its time. That's going to allow me to set up criteria like it does in MLS. So we want the listing status as active and under contract. If you want to see what's recently closed as well, or it's expired, what's leased and what's pending as well, you can also see that. You can also see what has been withdrawn and what has been terminated or is upcoming to be deleted. The property type as well, you can do condo, mobile home, single family, whatever type of property type you want. So we're just going to do a condo. The list price, you can start off at, you know, a certain range if you want, and you can go up to whatever range you want. So we're just going to do a range of 200,000 to 450,000. If it is a condo and there is a fee, or an HOA and there is a fee, you can go ahead and put what the max amount will be in that list. I forgot a 0, so it's not going to give me any options. So if you have a client that doesn't want to spend any more than $350 a month on the fee, you can go ahead and put that in here. And now that I have this in here, I get 157 results for New Hampshire. You can also put in the bedrooms, how many bedrooms they want, how many bathrooms they want, the square feet, how many half baths. If they want acres, you can put a max size of acres in here as well. A garage capacity, you can put that in here as well. If you want it to be, if you want to look for foreclosures or bank owned properties, you can select that as well right there. And anytime you add any new criteria or any new field, it's always going to update the results up top. So right now I have 0 results, probably because of one of the criteria didn't match anything. So as you go down this page, it's going to give you more options, more criteria. So if you want anything that was listed in the last 7 days, you can select that as well. If you want what was just listed in the past 24 hours as well, you can select that as well. So now within the last 24 hours for this criteria that we have so far, we have 5 results. So you can also add the cities, the towns, the zip code, the counties, and what you can do too that you cannot do in Zillow or Realtor.com, which is another reason why Real Scout is so much more important than Zillow is. If you have a family and they want to be in a specific school district, or they want to have their kids go to a specific elementary school, high school, and middle school, you can put that in here right here. So we're going to do Manchester School District right here. So any condo within this criteria that's in Manchester School District, if there were any, would populate, but there currently are none. So that is another feature that Real Scout does have that Zillow does not have. Zillow's just basic search to get data, sell your data to loan officers and other companies, as Stacey was mentioning earlier. If you want specific exterior features, if you want a boat launch, if you want a deck, if you want to be on water, if you want a fence for your dog, you can select all of that here. Interior, you can select as well. So anything from a gas fireplace to a wood fireplace to a home theater to an in-law suite to a kitchen island, first floor laundry, first floor master, you can select all of that. And once you have your search, what you want to do is you want to go ahead and save to the client, and you're going to select the client you want to save it to. You can name it Ashley's Home Search. Alert schedule, so daily, ASAP, monthly, disabled. So I do ASAP, and what this is that anytime a new listing comes up or anytime a price change happens, it's going to send me an email. It's going to send my client an email as well. And if you have this send copy to myself checked off right here, the same email that gets sent to your clients, you're going to get it as well, so you can see what's recently come on for this client search. And you can have it send open house reminders before each weekend. So anytime there's an open house, it'll email you a reminder that this. Yes. So if you are only licensed in those states, it'll connect to that MLS. Yes. So if you are not licensed in Connecticut, you can't see Connecticut. So I'm going to go ahead and save this alert. And then what it's going to do is it's going to go ahead and send an email to Ashley with these properties. And it's going to ask you if you want to send it now. So you can type a message to your client. So I'm just going to do your home search. Hello, Ashley. For our conversation, here is a list of properties that are currently on market, matching your criteria. Again, you can cater this message to your client. If you want to be more in-depth, less specific, you can. But for our sake of time, I'm just going to do a quick email to myself and then send now. So now it's going to send me all 5 of these listings that are right here. And you can go ahead and click on any listing, although it sent me listings for Vermont too. I'm not sure why that is, probably because I didn't select just New Hampshire. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this one right here in Epping. It's going to give me the property address, the number of bedrooms, the bathrooms, the square foot, the price per square feet, when it was listed, the list in MLS, the description. So all of this info right here is pulled from MLS. If there are any non-public remarks, which sometimes listing agents will put, they will be right here in the private details. So you don't even have to go into MLS to get that data. It will also show you the zone and type and the public remarks as well, the building information. So all this stuff that you get in MLS, you get here as well. However, this right here, the climate risk ratings, so risk of drought, risk of storm, temperature risk, fire risk, and flood risk, you don't get this stuff in MLS. So if you have somebody who doesn't want to be near a flood risk, this would be a good tool for them. And you can click get a full report and it'll give you a full report. So if you are a LAER agent and you want to do a one-on-one call, I go through that more in depth with you on that one-on-one call. So this specific property, I could write this is near your targeted area. If you have somebody who is looking to be more on the seacoast, you can write notes like this, you can save it, and anytime the client logs in, they're going to see that you left them a note about this specific property, and they can respond back to you right within their customer facing Real Scout account. Or not, yes, Real Scout account. The listing history, again, it just shows when it was listed, how much it was listed for, any schools that are nearby. And also what I like about Real Scout and what I don't have to do is if I'm in MLS, I have to have my email open as well to email a listing agent if they don't have showing time. Real Scout right here, I can just do subject line. I can type a message saying, hey, I have a client who wants to see this property this day, this time. And you can send the listing agent a message right through here. It'll go to their email, and when they respond to you, you will get notified via email that Liz has responded to you about this property. You will get email notification, and you will also get a notification within the Real Scout platform as well. And again, you can send it to your clients. You can send your clients a message all within this listing without even having to leave this page right here. You can do it all in one stop and shop. Real Scout also allows you to do a home value alert. So if you have a seller who wants to sell and they want to see what's going on in the market in their area, you can go ahead and create an alert for that. So you would do add alert. We're going to do select existing client. We're going to select me. Where did I go? Select client. And instead of doing a listing alert, we're going to select home value alert, and you can go ahead and create that home value alert. And then you're just going to populate the address, type in the address of the subject property that Ashley is thinking of selling, the town, the state, and the zip code. And then create alert with your defaults, or if you want to customize and preview the alert, you can customize it. So we're going to do create home value alert. It's going to create this alert. And now what we can do is we can go to our dashboard for this home value alert, if it wants to work. And we can go ahead and click on this right here, and it's going to give us an estimate of what it thinks that we could get for this property right now. Of course, the Zillow estimate is there. The ATTOM, I'm not sure what company that is, but again, you can see that there is a huge price difference between ATTOM and Zillow. There's a $30,000 plus difference. Again, you would want to just go through and do a traditional CMA, because this is just a quick glance. Right here, it just gives you some buyer information as to how many buyers have been in the area recently. And then it gives you some properties that are within the area that have been recently sold and what's also recently listed. Again, you get all the information as to what they've sold for, what they are listed for, the bedrooms, the bathroom count, and the square feet. So you can do a home valuation alert like that as well. But again, I would do so Joanne, yes. So Real Scout is included in that $39 a month fee. So it's Real Scout, iZact, and Boston Logic, the 3 platforms. So Real Scout is one of them. And then you can also create a market alert. Where is it? A market activity alert for a buyer or a seller. So if you have buyers, you can have them set up on an alert. So for Manchester, New Hampshire, you can have it set up that you have an alert for up to $350,000. Preview the market activity. You can have this sent to your clients on a biweekly basis, a monthly basis, or a quarterly basis, or you can send it out weekly if you wanted to. And what this does is it tells you how many active buyers there are in the town of Manchester, how many buyer interactions there have been within the last 90 days, 60 days, 30 days. So we're going to do the last 30 days to see how many other buyers are out there that my buyer is competing with. So again, we have 228 active buyers in this area, and the number of buyer interactions is over 1,000 within the past 30 days. If you wanted to go back a year, you could as well. Scrolling down this page, it gives you a graph of the past 30 days, and it tells you the number of buyers and the day. So for example, on December 10th, there were 11 active buyers. And then it tells you the top viewed listings for that area. So if your client, let's say your client's interested in 260 Front Street, you can see, you can gauge how much interest it has if it's ranked a top viewed list, and you can see what's recently been sold and what's recently been listed, or what's recently been updated. So if it's had a price change or a description change or anything like that. So again, you would set this up, you would select which client you want to send it to. And it's always important that once you select something, you want to save it. Because if you don't save it, it's not going to send that alert or create that alert for that specific client. So in a nutshell, that's an overview of Real Scout. But again, if you are a LAER agent and you do have the $39 a month tech bundle, go ahead and fill out that briefing form and we can go more in depth on a one-on-one call with you. The next thing I'm just going to do briefly, again, if you're a LAER agent, we can go more in depth, is Cloud CMA. So I'm on LAER Agent Services because not everybody has access to Cloud CMA through their MLS. I know in Massachusetts, MLS PIN, you can access it through that, but I'm just going to go through LAER Agent Services. I'm going to click on Cloud CMA. And the first thing that you want to do is, it's not always branded for LAER. So you want to click your little circle icon up here, go to your account settings. Yes, Wendy, it is, yes. And you want to make sure all of your information is correct. Your name is spelled correctly. The company name. So if you already have Cloud CMA, you do want to go in here and you do want to update LAER and make sure it is all capitals, because LAER is an acronym. So it should always be all capitalized. When your Cloud CMA account is set up, they don't capitalize it. So you just want to go in and make sure you update that yourself. And if you have a company logo, you can go ahead and upload it. If you don't have the company logo, you can find it under the marketing tools at LAERagentservices.com if you are a LAER agent. If you work at another brokerage, feel free to upload your brokerage logo. Also in this page, what you can do is under pages, you can update your resume, client testimonials. You can do a cover letter, listen, paperwork overview, market and action plan in our company. So I have a resume. So it's just my little real estate history. So once you do a Cloud CMA and once you prepare it, this information will show up as part of your CMA for your clients. So that way they can see, okay, she has experience, she's licensed in this state. If you have client testimonials that you want to put in there, you can put them in there as well. And again, on the one-on-one call, I can go through and show you how to add that, which is just with this pencil right here. And then again, if you edit anything or you were to edit anything, you would just want to make sure that you save it. To create a CMA, we're going to click on CMA. My internet's being a little slow today. Sorry. It's Friday. Is it possible? So this will be posted on the LAER Realty YouTube training channel. It's also going to be on the Real Online Agent Resources Facebook page, the ROAR Facebook group. And that's where you can find it, is on that Facebook group or on the LAER YouTube training channel. So we're going to go ahead and do create CMA report. You can type in the client name. So I'm just going to use myself. Any private notes, if it's a relative, it's a friend, if it's a sphere of influence referral that you want to just keep that note to yourself, you can put that in here. The subject property address, we will do 10 Bittersweet Drive. And again, once you start typing in the address, it's gonna auto-populate addresses that match what you're looking for. Just make sure you have the right town, because again, Bittersweet Drive is in multiple towns. You want to make sure that the bedroom count is correct, the bathroom count is correct. So if it's 1.5 bath, you would just put that in there as a decimal. The total square feet, the property type, the property subtype would be none, because it, or would be a single family, because it is a single family home. If you had a photo, you could add a photo. You would just upload it like you upload any photos. Any advanced information that you wanted to put, if you knew it had garages, which it has two. If you knew the subdivision, you could put the subdivision name in there, the style of home, colonial, gambrel, a ranch, a split level, anything that you could think of, you could put it all right here for you. How do you want to get comparative listings? If you know specific listings in MLS that you do want to use, you can go ahead and input the MLS numbers right here and it'll give you the exact listings. Or if you want to do it what Cloud CMA calls quick and dirty, you can click automatically find listings near the subject property. You can get at least 10 listings, and you can go as far back as 3 years, but I'm just going to go back 2 months. If you want more criteria, you can select more criteria. So we want 3 bed because we want it to match. We want 1.5 baths, but we're just going to do 2 square feet. We can round up to 1,800. List price, we'll just put in $475 for the max. and then it'll fetch listings for us that are in proximity to our subject property. Sometimes it takes a while. And as we wait for technology. So if you have a price in mind that you want it to be listed at, you can go ahead and put it in here. So I'm just gonna say, just for the sake of time, we want it to be listed at 485. We're gonna put 485 in there. This is the purple right here is the subject property. And then if you go down, it's gonna give you listings. So all of these are recently closed. So we're just gonna go through the comps and see what's closely related to our subject property that has 3 beds, 1.5 bath, 1728 square feet, and it was built in 1994. So we're just gonna go down, and if you see a property that you're not sure of if it should be in there or not, leave it in there and you can always adjust it later. So all of these closed ones I know are in proximity to where Bittersweet Drive is in Manchester. So we're gonna go ahead and leave these in here. And if we have to go back and tweak it, we can go back and tweak it after. And it's gonna give us what's currently active and what's currently active under contract. Again, it does give you a couple other outliers that we're gonna throw in there just to see what results are. See if we can get the price point that we want. Again, you may have to go back in and play around with it. You may have to adjust some criteria. You may have to adjust the months or adjust the price. It all depends on what the report says. So now that we're in the CMA report and we have all of our subject property data, it's going to go through and you can get rid of some information if you want. You can keep information. So this right here, the theme would be LAER Realty Partners. The layout would be 2 photos and the template would be the Cloud CMA default template. So what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and scroll down and we're going to publish report because we already have our client testimonials in there. We already have our resume in there. And unfortunately, I have not found a way that you can rearrange pages in the back of the report, because in the back of the report, there are some pages, but I haven't found a way that you can move them. So I'm still trying to tweak that. So we're just waiting for the CMA to be published. And then once it's published, you can go ahead and open it. But it's not publishing as quickly as I want it to. So now that it's published, it's going to say view PDF and you can go ahead and open the PDF. And again, just for the sake of time, I'm just going to do a quick overview of this. If you are a LAER agent, do the briefing form and we can go more in depth on Cloud CMA on a one-on-one call. Being very slow today. And because of the sheer amount of data that's in the report, it could take a little bit to open as it is right now. So once it fully opens, it's going to the subject property. Maybe. I guess I'm having technical difficulties right now. All right, let's try this.
Can you open the other one, the live view?
Yeah, so it opened. I just had to close a window because it didn't like having another window open. So it's gonna open like this again. You can, if you don't want, you know, this as your cover page, you can change the cover page in your profile settings. It's going to give information about LAER, the LAER mission, a little bit about the brokerage, which Stacey mentioned earlier. You know, how we're an independent real estate brokerage, how many transactions we've closed, and you know, just some ranks about LAER. LAER cares that we're committed to sustainability. So if you have a client and they want to donate to the Jimmy Fund, you can have part of your proceeds or part of the agent's commission be donated to that. LAER was voted as a top place to work in 2021, so we humbly brag about that. And then you get down to the CMA nitty-gritty details, and it just breaks down a little bit about who you are, appreciation that you were able to take the time to do this for them. Again, your resume, you can upload that on your profile. I can show you how to do that. More information about LAER Realty Partners, how to contact me, which it didn't save my email or my phone number earlier, so I'd have to go back in and update that. And then it goes down, and the purple house with the pinpoint, that's the subject property. Anything that is in green is currently active or currently under contract, which it says right here in the key, in the status key. And anything that is a red pinpoint has been sold within the past 2 months, 3 months, 30 days, whatever criteria you set up. Going down, it just breaks down the sold listings when they were sold, the number of bedrooms, bathrooms, square feet, the active listings, again, beds, baths, square feet, and then what the averages are of all of those categories. Going down, it's going to give you listings that have recently sold within the area that match or that are comparables, or what Cloud CMA thinks are comparables to your subject property, with the information that you put in, pictures of the properties. And again, just go to the town website, make sure all of the information that you have as far as bedrooms, square feet, and bathrooms is correct. So scrolling down, it's just going to go through and break down each property more in depth from MLS. Again,
I think that's good. We can wrap up.
So once you get that done and you're happy with it, you can print it, you can bind it, and you can use it to present to your sellers. Again, if you're a LAER agent and you want more one-on-one time, just fill out the briefing form and I can go further in depth with you on Cloud CMA. So thank you, everyone. Everyone in New England, be safe with the snow this weekend.
So just as a reminder, if you're a LAER agent, we just want to make sure that you have our branded version of the Cloud CMA, because we have a whole bunch of additional flyers and tools that we've put into the CMA for you. So just to wrap up, I only have about a 2-minute wrap up. We did not get through the entire LAER program guide, but you can go through it on your own at laerrealty.com/success tools. That's where you got the entire booklet. I want to remind everybody that the purpose of today was to execute on some things. So hopefully now that we're at the end of the program, that you have 5 to 10 items that you're going to go execute on. We did get through the entire marketing section as well. We got through the entire technology section. Career development, we didn't get through everything, but a couple things that we did cover were Algorwin, as well as our YouTube station. I do want to remind you that we do have a phenomenal coaching program, and we're about to launch our next 2 groups of coaching. So if you're an agent that did less than $5 million a year in sales last year as far as volume, and you want to get coached to the next level, go to laerrealty.com/LAER coaching. There's a link at the bottom of this page, and just fill out a little form about what your goals are, and we'll have our coaching team reach out. Basically, we put you into a small group coaching session with a maximum of 5 other agents and 1 coach, and that 1 coach is always a high-performing real estate agent. So we've written our own coaching guide. It's phenomenal. We've helped many, many agents achieve huge career goals at LAER. Last piece I want to just remind you is if you need any help at any time, we have a huge staff. We have like 50 staff members. They're here to help you with your business. Anytime you have a question or anything, just email happyagent@laerrealty.com. That goes into our support team. And we respond to those between 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. 7 days a week. So regardless what you need assistance with, maybe it's a marketing piece, a question on a transaction, it can literally be anything. Our team is here to support you. By the way, wanted to make sure everybody saw this page. On page 33 of the booklet is a page of all different lead providers. It's broken down on the right side are all the subscription-based lead products. Not a huge fan of subscription leads, but I am a huge fan of referral fee-based lead platforms. We have 10 to 20 referral fee-based lead platforms. And if you click on each of these, it takes you right to the page where you sign up for that lead platform. And that's basically it. If you are an agent from another firm and you liked some of the stuff you got to see today, we would love to talk to you. Like I said, we're expanding throughout New England, but also beyond. We're opening in some additional states this year. So regardless what market you're from, if you're interested in learning more about the tools, training, and technology at LAER, we'd love to have a conversation. And the best way to have a conversation is just email happyagent@LAER Realty, LAER Realty.com. That'll go into our support team and that'll get assigned to me. And then I'll reach out to you and we can schedule a time for a call. Anyways, thank you so much for your time today, giving us 3 hours. That's a pretty big deal on a Zoom meeting. So we really appreciate all of your time and can't wait to see your results for 2024. Thank you, Craig, Sergio, Ashley, for helping us today. And Happy New Year, everyone. Thanks. Have a great day.